I did plus 10.
Yeah, no, it says my personal points are 160 out.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. It's just
because when we leveled up, we added points.
That's cool.
No, it's because I've added.
Is it alright if I do make the rifle and shotgun change instead of the library use?
Okay, yeah. For what? What was the thing?
I was gonna do -20 library and +20.
You can't do -20. You can only do -10.
Okay, -10 library, +10 rifle shotgun.
What's it called again? Forge or something? Forge.
It's linked in the chat.
It's just a link, yeah.
Rifle shotgun, was it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, the module that I've been watching these films in, Ted, is in it's called Sci-Fi Theory of Film, and I think you'd fucking love it.
Oh, I'm sure I would, mate.
I know you're a sci-fi.
I'll watch any film, genuinely any film.
Man, I mean, I watched it. The module forced me to watch 2001, which I hadn't seen before, which is pretty criminal.
What did you think?
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably the best. Like, it's not my favorite film, but it's probably the best film I've ever seen.
It's so well made, isn't it?
It's absolutely.
But have you seen like The Shining?
No, I haven't seen The Shining.
You seen Full Metal Jacket?
I've seen Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
So there is like a vibe to Kubrick movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I'm fully aware of the Kubrick vibe. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
You sent me the Apocalypse Now thing about Francis Ford Coppola. I had seen that before, but I'd forgotten a lot of it, and it's really good. But he's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the difference is I feel like Kubrick approached the whole thing like a scientist, and I don't feel like at any point he wasn't in control and didn't know exactly what he wanted to do. Whereas Coppola felt like he was just fucking
he
clinging on. He's like Captain
like
Ahab in it. Yeah. It was a bit mad.
The full artist perspective and just chaos ensues.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's really fascinating.
I was watching a thing about the making of The Exorcist today that was pretty fucking bants. It's a channel called It Was a Shit Show, which is a good name for a channel, and it's all about how movie making, like the reboot of this was a shit show, the making of The Exorcist was a shit show, and I mean, The Exorcist is an incredible film. I saw it in a cinema so it came out, and I think there's either late 70s or very early 80s, I think 70s, and it was like a big deal, and it was like became a cultural trope for a long time, and then I saw it in probably, I want to say early 2000s in a cinema in Bournemouth, or late 90s in a cinema in Plymouth. I think it was Plymouth. When we were at uni, they reissued it for the cinema release. People were laughing at it. They thought it was like, it felt dated to them. I was like, damn, how are you not getting that? But then there is the scene where she gets the spinal tap. Everybody was fucking horrified. And I think it's interesting because my kids are the same. When we watched The Thing, which I made them watch a few weeks back, they weren't scared at all, apart from the scene where they had to cut their thumbs and where they put needles into their arms. So people are legitimately terrified of anything to do with surgical anything or needles. That scares people. But a lad's chest exploding and biting someone's arms off, they were like, oh my god, look at that. And I was like, are you not scared? They're like, no. I was like, all right. So yeah, it was weird.
What do you mean by scared though? Like, was it more like, I presume like aghast, horrified?
Like horrified, yes. Horrified in some way. Literally being like, oh my god, but nothing. They were just sort of watching. And they didn't...
I've been watching Breaking Bad for the first time this week.
What do you think?
I was pretty disgusted at like lads being dissolved in acid.
Right.
That's like a horrified where I'm like, Jesus, just like watching all the shit like goop on the floor. I was like, fucking hell. I felt a bit ill after that. But...
Right. I guess that's revulsion rather than horror.
Yeah.
Like when I watched Hereditary, that was horror. Like I was really genuinely scared watching that. Whereas like Midsummer, I couldn't even finish it. It was too scary.
Man,
for me.
Midsummer's good.
It was too scary for me. Like too psychological. I like my horror films to have a little bit of schlock to them. Then I can get by it. Otherwise, it's just unwatchable for me. It's too much.
Woman in Black in the theater.
I've seen that in the theater when I was about 14, and after I got home, I was like, I needed to get something from the car, and like I saw like. It was like dark. I saw someone walking past and I freaked out.
I saw that on the stage and it was still terrifying. It's just a very scary story.
Yeah. Well,
no, that's what I mean. In the theatre. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Did they do the thing where she comes from the back of the seats, because there's a bit where she like comes in, and the one that I watched, she comes to where the audience actually comes from.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, I
nobody,
think
so she's
she
coming
like
down
snuck
the
up on us. She
coming
snuck up on
down
us
the
a bit.
aisle, and nobody expects that, and it's like super fucking freaky.
It's a pretty crazy story.
Yeah.
Shall we
Speaking of
crack on?
crazy stories,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we've just to summarise, we've finished our little get together adventure where everyone's met each other. So we're all on good, hesitantly say good terms now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a tiny bit of like setting up your guys' like little society, a couple of odd bits and bobs, and then we'll get into the next adventure. So first things first, just want to go through the new things that we've got. If you go to shops, you can see a map of New York with various shops. If you double click the icons, you can see things. This is going to become relevant in a second. Mind Palace, I explained this before we started streaming, but basically this is just for me to, or you, if you want to use it, just to draw stuff if you need to explain something, or if there's a bunch of bads, we'll just lay them out. So it's like a pen tool on the side.
Don't read the case yet. I don't want to read it yet. Don't read
pen tool on the side.
You might not have it just yet, but I can.
No,
I can give it.
know.
Yeah, I can give it to you at some point. So yeah, and then we have the stuff that you saw before, the case clues, people maps.
By the way, can I regen all my health and sanity?
You don't regenerate. So the way it works is now, because the adventure that we're going to do some stuff like for your investigators, so your health will regenerate to the max amount. Oh, and I can hear myself again.
Echoing Ted's mic, I think of it.
I don't know how. I'll turn you down. You are ever so loud.
Okay.
But I wanted you loud for the stream.
Yeah, fair enough. So usually what will happen is you finish, you go out, like for instance, we're on the island, and then you'll slowly regain health if you've just been sort of like battered, right? So if you've just been taking a couple of cuts and bruises, like everyone did in the first scenario, then you heal over time, basically. So it'll take a few months, but you'll heal back up. If you take a major wound is if you lose more than half your HP in a single attack, then you actually need hospital care, and the recovery takes a lot longer. Like it can be a year.
So if that happens to one of us, we're just out for like the next 10 sessions. Like, what do we do?
No. Well, so the thing is in Call of Cthulhu is that the sessions are actually paced usually. So say for example, we just did that one on the lighthouse. Typically, the next one would be like 6 months down the line.
Right.
So it's not like every month. You're not getting something new every month, because obviously this takes over a long period of time. So for example, the next one that I've got set up here is going to be a year from when we met up. So in that scenario, we can safely say that everyone's health would be back to full. So you could change your health now back to your max, because in a year your wounds would have healed. Sanity, you don't regenerate sanity unless you're actually insane, and nobody's actually gone insane yet. So
the only way I can become sane again is by becoming insane first.
No, so what it basically means is your sanity is just a indication of how frail your mind is, essentially.
I see.
So you've seen a couple of ghouls, a couple of like weird creatures, a couple of freaky things. So naturally your sanity goes down, but it's not enough to debilitate you.
Right. But over time it takes a toll.
Yeah. So as you lose sanity, it's hard to get sanity back up. For example, I mean, you guys got some from doing some good things at the end of the scenario. So usually that's one of the main ways you get sanity back. But essentially what happens is you are inevitably in a downward spiral because the lower your sanity goes, the harder it is to make rolls,
Yeah,
the more likely you are to lose sanity. So it's unlikely that you'll go all the way up to 90. It can happen.
So,
but by the way, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
HP,
yeah. How do I bring up my lad, my player character sheet? I can't see it.
If you go to investigators under the actors,
top right, actors, investigators, double click on your lad, you can do a little pop out window.
Oh yeah, God! Every session you have to remind me of this. I do apologize.
So first things first is we're going to do some backstory asset related stuff. So if you click on your character and you go to your gear and cash tab, you'll notice that you have a spending level, cash, and assets on the right hand side. So your spending level, so for example, if I look at Charlie the Schnoz McLean, and this is based off your credit rating, by the way. So Charlie's spending level is $10, which means he can buy stuff for under $10, and we don't have to worry about making a note on he's bought that, right? It's just assumed that he can afford stuff that's under $10. He's got $60 of cash on him, and that's important in case he gets nicked or he wants to buy something that's more expensive. And he has $1,500 in assets. And these can be things like vehicles, houses, furniture, more expensive bits and bobs. So we need to put some thought into what your assets are. It doesn't have to be a lot. So for example, you could say I own a car that's like $700 and some furniture that's $300, and then I've got the rest, the $500 in a bank, right? That could literally be it. So you just need to go to the shops and take a look at some of the things. So I would suggest vehicles and houses are the things you want to look at first, because they're the things that cost the most, and then just bung in a couple of things, and then you can also buy anything that you think might be useful, including weapons, for the upcoming adventure.
Should we not purchase things once we know what we want to do?
You can also do that, absolutely. So we can wait. You can wait until we know for sure.
Because if we find out for example, that we need
I'm just going to buy a fucking car, lads.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to buy a shotgun, if you wanted to buy a shotgun,
I swore an oath that I would never use a gun
one right now.
apart from when I did that one time. But that was against fiends from the other world, and I'd rather not carry one if it's possible. I might buy a bedpan. That could come in handy.
So this is also just kind of gives you an idea of the sort of things, because you might not, it might not come to your mind that you could buy a blowtorch, for example, but you might see it in the shop and you think, oh yeah, we could use that and potentially
torture some lads. I hear you.
If you look at the one thing that's slightly different is the brownout arms tab. That's because it has a bunch of information that I couldn't really put in like as plain text. So obviously you can't buy the stuff that's only in the modern era, like a fucking Desert Eagle. Just don't make sure if you want to buy something, then if you want to actually purchase a physical item, so a gun or something like handcuffs, let me know. I'll make it and I'll put it in your inventory, which is now under the journal tab in the top right. If you go under actually is it under this? No. So
I'm going to buy a set of brass knuckles. I think that as a boxer, I think that's fine.
So it's under items, sorry, my bad. And you go to investigator inventories, and now you can see everything that this is stuff that you physically have on your person.
So I've got the hand-to-hand weapons. Brass knuckles are $1.
Yeah.
And I have $10 spending level. So how do I add it to my character sheet?
Okay, so then I would make so you say I want to buy brass
knuckles. Buy brass knuckles.
I'll make it for you, and then I'll give it to you as a thing. So
I just put it in can I put it in the chat? So there's not like everyone at once.
Yeah, sure.
Shit. As in the Discord chat.
No, just bosh it in that chat.
Put it in the game chat.
Oh, game chat.
Is this stuff we're spending money on, or?
So there's two things.
That we're just wanting to spawn.
You want half of it is you want assets, so stuff that your person's already technically owns. So like I said, a car, maybe a house, and some furniture, for example, just to fill up that sort of big amount of cash that you've got.
Yeah.
And this is stuff that you might have to end up selling at some point potentially. But essentially, you want stuff that you own, a few bits and bobs that you have, and then some loose cash that you can buy things with. That's pretty much it, basically.
Those two things are stuff that I imagine I'd already have.
Yeah.
A rapier?
Yeah.
What sort of private investigator is like, yeah?
This one, mate.
Get a gun, mate.
Your nose is gonna reach them before the rapier.
Buy a gun.
I'm gonna be buying a gun.
A rapier. What is he? Who does he think he is? I might get some handcuffs. Might be handy things to have, lads. I'm gonna buy stuff so I can peaceably. A rapier and an M1 Garand. Nice.
Well, no, you're saying
I'm kitted out, bro.
Ah. I've got a Bible.
Ashwin, as our mechanic boy, you should probably get the tool outfit. I would have thought gives you 20 tools.
Tempted to buy a saxophone just for the crack.
Right, so I made you your brass knuckles. So then, what happened is I can just drag that onto your person. And now, when you look at your combat,
yeah, there's brass knuckles. Doesn't show up in my gear though. It only shows up there. It's the same damage as my regular.
Yeah, no, I just need to. Just need to change it.
Okay.
There we go. 1d4. Right. So what else have we added? So for example, for Ashwin with your Chevrolet Capital, what you can do is just. It's not actually an item per se, like that's on your inventory, so you can just write it in your assets. There you go. And if you put the price next to it, then we can see how much, like overall, that you've used. 12-gauge shotgun.
Nice job, Alistair.
Potpot25 just resubbed for 45 months.
I can't conceal it. Is the issue?
It's just daft.
Hold
on, lads. Let me get the rapier out of the boot. Just grab the Garand.
I'll definitely have. No, I'll grab a. I need a melee weapon.
Yeah, but so get like a fucking get a billy club, mate. Get a billy club.
I'm gonna have a dagger, I think.
You're gonna stab some lads.
Yeah.
Tempted to get a bullwhip just because it sounds pog. What is the doctor buying anything from?
You can get a complete diving suit for $1,200.
That would have been one of those ones with the massive metal hat as well.
Yeah.
Roy sitting on the pipe. We can't breathe.
I bought a medical case, which I don't know what's in it, and some Epsom salts.
I do enjoy the pocket microscope.
Medical case is just like all the generic bits and bobs from just like doing medical stuff.
I feel it's a good purchase then.
I think it is.
Who's getting a baby, Boggy?
Are we gonna get a property? Do we have an apartment or a house?
Right, so we will sort that in a moment. Right. I've got a plan for that.
Anyone running this on Firefox?
No,
I am.
Is it AIDS?
No, not particularly. Why?
I keep having to restart it.
I think that's a skill issue, to be honest.
Okay.
Gregory, don't forget to buy some ammo for your gun, buddy.
That's true. Thank you.
So I can wake up the prisoners we torture with the blowtorch.
I see. So you're presuming we're going hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to be a pacifist. I don't know. I just wanted to buy some salts. I just felt like it.
If you buy a gun, make sure you buy ammo as well.
I just
it doesn't tell me the ammo type for the M1.
Where does it show M1 Garand? Where is
it?
The Garand M1 and ammunition.
Oh yeah. I can. Okay, give me a second.
I think it would be 36.
I would have thought 38.
Well, I need 12 gauge shells.
No, it's a rifle shell.
Fucking hell, I'll just get a box of 100. Why not?
Jesus.
Send it. I've got a car, mate. I could just store it in there.
Do you have the PDF from the that I sent you earlier?
Greg, it's,
If you go on
it's
the drive.
3006. It's 3006 government box of 100 763.
There is. Oh, okay.
3006.
Should I be keeping a track of how much of my assets I'm spending?
Yes.
Okay. Because we're
If
going
it's
decimal
big
now.
stuff.
We're going decimal.
If it's big stuff, then yeah.
All I've bought is handcuffs and brass knuckles. How do I add handcuffs?
That's not gonna be
I bought
too
the
much.
Clyde house and a Ford Model T.
Oh.
A house?
Right. Well, I'm squatting in your house.
You're getting the fuck
You can
away from my
afford a
house.
house?
You're getting
Whoa!
the fuck away from my house.
What is your
The,
assets?
The same as yours, 1500.
The
No, mine's 1,000,
investigatory.
mate.
Oh right.
What are they
Hell.
called? What
I'm
do
a
we call
poor boy.
ourselves again?
Inquisitors
Investigatories Inquisitors
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary. That's right. Inquisitors Extraordinary. Have a fucking HQ. Nice.
I'll buy it.
No, so Klaus owns the house, so he feels like he owns the rest of us.
The House of Klaus.
Stay the fuck away from my house, boys.
Yeah,
Get your own
listen,
shit.
we are in the
No,
house.
It's the house is the HQ.
We are in the house. There's no arguing here.
There's no way only
yes.
my assets are going towards the house. We could get a much better house through pooling of resources. You're not just.
Klaus!
I'm charging rent. That's
Klaus!
what I'm saying. I'm
No.
charging fucking.
Hear me
You
out now, will
fuck.
you? Look, we're fighting the forces of evil and demonic forces here. It would be a good look for you if you joined in a little bit and shared the wealth. Now, I've said several prayers for you. I haven't seen a confession lately, I must say. But you can't
Fine,
be
but
hoarding.
I'm taking the ensuite bathroom.
That's fine.
How many bedrooms does this place got?
6 bedrooms.
6? Holy
Yeah.
shit! How was that bit bought by a
In
1.5k?
New York.
It's,
It's
it's the
1920s,
prefabricated houses.
Big
The
and
Clyde
Dog
is
just resubbed for 6
1,100.
months.
Ashwin, have you bought a vehicle?
Yeah, mate, I got a Chevrolet Capital.
Cool. What's the capacity
Fuck no.
on a Chevy Capital?
How do I check that?
I don't think you do unless you have.
Most of them by default are 4. Actually,
Okay.
technically 5. No, most of them are 5. You can squeeze
Evelyn
5.
can sit on someone's lap.
Rude.
Wait, do we have
Sexist.
5? We have 5. We have 5 anyway.
We
Well,
have-
I'm just saying, Evelyn is going to be the most low mass individual.
Yeah, we're not. Having
Why don't you sit
Roy
on my lap,
Sands
Roy,
us.
alright? How about that?
Well,
He's
you
the
know,
fucking
I mean,
driver,
You'd
mate.
have to be below me in the driving seat then.
Well, we can work that out.
We should probably get some rope. That's always handy. And a steel
Rope
pulley.
always handy.
I'd like
Yeah.
to buy rope and a steel pulley. I'm just thinking of not killing
I think.
things.
I'd like to buy some bear traps and some animal pelt, please.
Honestly, buy the toolkit, Ashwin, as you are the mechanic.
Oh, where's that?
1490 in Thorson's Tools, all the way to the left. There's a load of tools in there that you might need.
Oh, I'll get the
Get
rotary
the
tool grinder.
home tool
Yeah,
set in box
I'll
would be
get that.
handy.
I'll get the home tool set. Yeah.
I'm going to get the collapsible fishing rod and
I feel like I'm gonna store my home tool set in box, potentially in Klaus's house.
Oh my god!
Has anyone got any? Is anyone a good chef?
I'm gonna have a crowbar in.
Father
in
John, you
the
sound
car.
like a chef.
Is there actually a cooking skill?
I've been known to do a wee bit of cooking.
There is a cooking skill.
But-
Wait,
But
what?
it's
I
gotta
haven't
be-
put anything into it. I don't think.
It's
Does
under
anyone have
it comes under arts and craft so
Oh,
it's
right,
very
right.
specific.
Does
Oh,
anyone
arts
have
and
good
crafts.
any arts and crafts? Any?
No,
No.
we.
I've got
Nice
10.
job,
Evelyn,
Alex.
Evelyn, surely you can cook. You're a woman.
Just resubbed.
You have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a sign of the times. We do not endorse.
This is the
these statements.
1920s, all right? So fucking chill, Reddit.
Has someone bought 50 feet of rope?
Aye.
All right.
Enjoy inputting all this, Axel. Fucking-
Yeah, I'm nearly done. It doesn't much.
Really?
Rope, Father John. What else?
I'm
do you
gonna
want?
get a
Steel-
handsaw as well.
Steel
Okay.
pulley.
Yeah.
I'm just going nuts here. So, I didn't see that. Let's see.
He's rolling whether to get it or not.
Lucky 7.
What's the other thing you wanted? Crowbar.
Should I just get everything in here, lads? Has anyone got a blowtorch? I'm getting a blowtorch and electrician's gloves.
Yeah,
How does a motorcycle only cost 95 quid?
1920s, mate. And buy a house for $1,000.
I'm not going to get the jeweler's 48-piece tool set though.
Right, so bear in mind all this stuff that you're buying, you cannot fit this all on one person. So basically,
what's going on in the car?
I'm putting it in the boot, mate.
Yeah, but if you
buying
go away
suspicions.
from the car, you will have to choose what you're actually gonna
Okay.
bring with you.
Well, I'm not going to bring the electrician's gloves with me. Okay, those can stay behind.
We
Maybe the hand
we just never get out of the car. That's it.
The mobile HQ. It's like the
my driving.
Has anyone
skills are
okay?
to the
Here's an important question. Has anyone bought any furniture for my house?
No.
Bro, we're not furnishing your house.
You're not furnishing. Yeah. Look,
Do I have
we're
to buy
gonna
all the furnishings as well? Fuck's sake.
No. Don't worry about a house for the lads. This is going to be dealt with in a moment.
Right, exactly. Get the fuck out of my house, you
This
cunt.
is for you. This stuff is all for you.
Why do I need a house when I can just live in the HQ?
Klaus, they let Jesus stay in the manger. Now, you've got a dog kennel at the bottom of the garden there. That'll do me. Just let me kip in there and say a few prayers for you.
Hey, you should get a shovel. It's your favourite tool.
What?
I'm just adding all this stuff now. You can talk amongst yourselves for a wee bit.
Miles has bought a Norton motorcycle.
It's a bargain, mate.
Yeah, it's like 60 quid, isn't it?
95 quid.
Yeah.
Miles can be like the stealthy stealthy attacker, the flanker.
Do
if
you
we ever have a
fancy
car
the
chase.
Duesenberg J for 20 grand? Jesus.
There you go. I think that's everything I want.
Here's your gun to make the guns.
What the hell is all weather? Oh, oh. I mean, there must be some shit in here that's useful.
The John house.
Wait,
Should we get a pedometer?
volume encyclopedia based.
The HQ.
Where's that going?
I'm really disappointed no one invested in a complete diving suit. All right, I'm sad for it all.
But if Roy got in the water, mate, he will sink.
That's why you need the diving suit.
Like an ocean.
Let's get cracking, team. Stop buying fuff we don't need and let's go.
Well, what about a carbide lamp?
Speaking of
300-inch beam.
Right. So oh my god, why have we got fishing? Okay, right. Give me a second.
I'm just looking towards my leisure time. You know, I've got to recover some sanity somehow.
Greg's buying
To be fair, Roy is a physicist in his spare time, so what? He would have a telescope.
Yeah, I love a bit of physics, me mate. I read all about it in Physics Monthly. In the Gentleman's Physics Gazette, what I get monthly. I just read the Bible. That's enough for me. And smoke my cigars, of course.
He's got a trench coat
and a briefcase, like the kid whose first day at school he gets bullied mercilessly for turning up.
Are you buying things for a fucking Halloween party, Greg, or something?
Fuck, mate, it's the fucking 1920s, man. What are you on about? You know, I'm gonna add a fedora.
Do you want to get a magnifying glass as well? Yeah,
bro, I was about to. You know, I'll tell you, I'll chuck a fedora on top as well. In fact, do you know what? I'm buying myself a fucking one of these.
I might buy a coat. What coat have they got?
Greg, mate.
I stole a coat from the islands.
You did actually.
Oh, I'm gonna get binoculars. Actually, those sound like a good idea.
Can anybody buy me a nice Chesterfield overcoat? I don't have the money for it. I actually got $40 cash. I'm gonna.
Can you not just put it in?
Where's the Chesterfield overcoat at?
It's
I just
under
want to point out,
Wanamaker's of New York.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that M1 Garand does cost $400.
Yes.
But it's 4 times more expensive than Miles' motorcycle.
That's on you, mate. That's on you. Wait, let me reconsult the brown alarm.
I mean, probably I would say something like.
How much? I mean, that thing's gonna drop any when it hits. That it's pretty.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's the super backup.
It will fucking shred.
Alright.
It's also post World War II, so we're gonna have to time travel for it.
Oh yeah,
That is-
true. You have picked it as World War II. So,
Sorry. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I recommend do the .45 Martini Henry rifle. That gives potential for giga deeps.
Okay, give me that one then.
So what year is it, man?
At the moment,
Yeah.
926.
Oh yeah, you're 10 years early with the Garand, unfortunately.
You'll have to forget about my government box of ammo then.
Sorry,
Yeah,
we'll
he
just
doesn't
do
need
that.
the ammo for a gun.
Just give me the
yet.
corresponding ammo for that weapon as well.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just looking.
I mean, the 3220 repeater is fine. That's like one of those sort of bang, bang. Like that's a pretty decent gun, I reckon. You know the one, like the Cowboys had. You go bang, and then you've got a thing. A lever action rifle, they call it. It's that. It's got like the trigger guard's got that circle, and there's another circle you put your other fingers through. You just go clack clack, and you're ready to go again. Bang, clack clack, bang, chuk chuk, like your man in that film, like your man in that there Unforgiven. There's Clint Eastwood there, where he shoots the fella with it.
Alright, okay,
Right, we got some binoculars. That's 2850. Bloody hell. Right.
I'm gonna pray to God Almighty that this doesn't take too much longer.
No, maybe like 5-10 minutes.
Oh, I read that as rotating bow tie, but Greg's bought a Batwing bow tie. He thinks he's Batman. He's got his fucking rapier.
It's a mere 55 cents.
The Oxford dress shoes.
Mate, my guy's fucking swanky.
Wait, so you're planning on going to some sort of
Well,
gala?
in case we need someone to infiltrate, I'm there.
You're right. A lad in a trench coat with a magnifying glass and a fishing pole won't rouse suspicion.
Sorry, you reminded me because I had forgotten about the magnifying glass.
Munt, the only thing I'm buying is the Chesterfield overcoat. That's
All right,
it, please.
Okay. Evelyn.
Where is the goddamn?
Do you like a washing machine plate?
You don't have to fit my house out anymore.
Upholstered mohair. Well, I haven't looked in Jones's general store yet. What have you got?
With the ammo, you need to find it in your inventory, and then when you click on it, quantity, change that quantity to 100, and you'll have to keep tabs on how much ammo you actually.
Okay, this is actually not friendly. Okay, fine.
Gold pocket watch.
Sorry, it was listed in my things that I had as according to my law.
Well, you don't need to buy one then. Oh, have you got? Oh no, yeah, right. I see.
Should do me, I think.
Bandages, handsaw, electrician's gloves. Christ. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I don't see my clothes and stuff on my.
Yeah, no, I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going down the thing.
I'm not getting anything else.
Yeah.
Right, we're done with the shopping.
Nice job, Alistair.
Greg's bought like
Just
$1,000
for
worth of
27
stuff. I
months.
swear to God.
Nah, everything I'm buying's cheap.
That's good, mate. It means we can just sit here for another 15 minutes.
I would like to buy 1,000 cans of tomatoes and some lard.
And I buy some beans and toast.
Oh, I see. This is if I don't have clothes in my assets, am I just naked?
No.
Did Evelyn buy clothes?
Hold on, you don't need to worry too much about that.
I just have one big coat.
I'd like to buy 12 aspirin to get over this.
I haven't even looked at the medical supplies actually.
Fuck, you can buy half a gallon of alcohol for 20 cents!
Klaus, have you got any medical supplies, brother?
Yeah, I bought a full box of medical supplies, some hypodermic syringes, and some Epsom salts. Plus, I have some other random collection of things.
Don't go with my deers, dude.
Aren't the Epsom salts just for a nice bath? Am I going mad?
How about like a wheelchair?
I think Epsom
if
salts
break my
wake
back?
you up when you're unconscious.
I think that's smelling salts.
I think that's
they're
what
probably
smelling
the
salts
same, yeah.
are.
No.
Yeah.
It's
No.
0.45. Yeah, 0.45 is what you're actually using now, isn't it? Greg.
Yes.
Hell, it isn't atomizer for. Surely
Why
Klaus
actually?
would know.
Regarding the clothes, we're not gonna I'm not gonna put your clothes in
Alright.
because it's assumed that you have this stuff. Binoculars.
Can we buy a straitjacket for Greg? Oh, gosh, an axe might be a good thing to have.
It'll probably do
I
less
feel
damage
like
than
that's
your
something
bare
that
fists.
Father John would have.
What about lanterns? Do we have any lanterns of any
I've
kind?
bought an electric torch.
I also
got
have
a
an electric
couple-
torch.
I'll buy an
I'm
electric
just
torch,
gonna.
actually.
I've got the car, mate. So you know, we need to lighten things up.
All right,
Switch on
man,
the
I've got
headlights.
one final thing I want to buy.
No worries.
5 disposable flares.
Jesus Christ. Those
Fascinating.
be available?
I have an image in my mind of a priest with his collar there, popping a flare, and we're looking up from some dungeon trapdoor, and you see us all there, and I'm holding
Please,
the
I
flare,
beg you,
we're looking
Father.
down. There could be anything down there, for Christ's sake! And I drop the flare on my fucking alcohol I'd stashed down there, and it all goes up, foom, and down goes the plague's fucking greedy house that he bought, which we're not allowed to live in. I forgot I kept me cigars and me alcohol in the fucking basement. Oh no!
Oh, and Greg actually got the magnifying glass.
No.
Are they green flares or red flares? Red flare I can call in an airdrop. Green flare is for extracting on streets. So we got to take note.
Bro, the magnifying glass will give my spot hidden. It will surely give me an extra dice.
It's like gonna buff it.
You're gonna hold it on all the time. You're just gonna walk around with
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna have it in my fucking pocket, mate. I'm Sherlock.
Walking around with binoculars.
Let me buy a beer store. hat.
Indoors.
How do you think a magnifying glass works? You don't just scan everything and then you go, oh, spot it.
So it works in games.
Alright, I think I've got everything. I need to buy your watch.
I have none of the stuff I bought has been put on my my lad.
Yes.
No,
it's
it
in your inventory, not
Yeah.
your person.
I'm looking
not your
gear
person.
and cash. Oh, inventory. Where's
I
that?
can see Father John Carter, brass
Items?
knuckles, crowbar, disposable flares, handcuffs, rope, rosary, and steel
Oh,
pulley.
The
yeah.
stuff in your character sheet are what you're actually carrying on you. And this is
Noted.
what you generally own.
All right, I'm good to go
missing,
then.
I'm missing some stuff, I think.
Like what?
Well, then one
Right.
grand, a mobile phone, flamethrower.
Go.
tank.
Have I got the dagger?
Where the fuck did you buy a dagger?
Further up, man.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And my cigarettes and matches.
You can see that I've given you the cigarette.
Oh wait, Munt, there was one thing that I said that's not on here, which was that I bought a hand axe.
What?
An axe, mate, an axe.
And right, just to let you know, axe comes under the fighting skill axe. So
No, I'm not using it for fighting.
right, okay.
It's just a useful thing to have.
I can't see the cigarettes in my inventory, Axel.
Pack of cigarettes.
Am I blind?
Also, I'm quite handy with
Maybe.
a spear, so
No,
I might
no,
buy
no, no,
Give
a...
them to someone else.
To be fair though, Ted, if you ever had to use the axe, wouldn't you still be using the axe skill?
Weapon.
No, because using it to chop down a door, for example, or cut a rope is different from...
So what would you use for that then?
I think that would just be either dex or
CCing in
strength
monk
or
this.
something. I mean, look, if I said to you, fight me with this axe, that's a completely different skill set to chop down this door. The door isn't moving. You just have to literally use it as a lever to hit. Like, it's not complicated. It's just a thing to help you cut through a thing or to cut a rope. But if you're fighting with it, that's a different set of skills. I would suggest.
The film for my camera and the.
Yeah. No, I do need to add that.
Cool.
Fucking Greg's camera. I'd forgotten. You put all those points in photography. He's actually a fucking pervert, not a PI.
You're right. He's got the camera and the fucking trench coat.
And the fucking fedora, dude.
And the fedora. Be careful, Evelyn. Get behind me.
Camera. I already gave you a camera at the start.
I'm boarding up all my
yes,
windows.
No, I already have the camera. I haven't bought a camera.
So the,
I just need
job,
the film, the thing that allows me to process.
Never let him buy you a
and,
drink.
There was something else as well. And the dagger still.
I got the dagger over in you now.
I did buy a tool set, Mum, but it's not on me.
Clean. All set.
Oh, and the torch. No, you've done that one. You've done that one.
Fucking hell.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Right, have we all made sure we filled out our fucking assets bit?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let's have a look. If I've forgotten anything, we can do it after.
Actually, can you remove my wristwatch?
Yeah,
I didn't realise I only had a pocket watch.
Okay. Right, so a quick check at the lads. Right, Greg, you need to fill out your assets section, mate. We went through this. You need to go to the gear and cache, and you need to actually put in what you physically own. So what I would say is you put in the stuff that cost a lot, and then Ted, you need to do the same.
I don't see an assets on here, bud.
Right, so you go to gear and cache, and then on your actual character.
Yeah, I don't have any assets.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't have any assets, do I?
Okay, so in which case you need to put something like loose cash,
Bank
1,000.
account.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally just to.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin 1,000. I've been saving up for a rainy day in case I get defrocked.
Plague, we could also assume that you've got no loose cash, or we can say that you've got what?
He's fucking Scrooge
like
McDuck, this lad. That's why we've got five of us and 6 rooms. I'm just saying, in the 6th room is all of Klaus's money.
What I have remaining, if you want, and add that to loose cash.
Yeah. And then Ashwin, you don't need to anything that's I'd say less than 50 quid. I wouldn't bother recording on assets. It's mostly just your big thing. So we'll just say your car, basically. We'll just delete everything else.
I need my hand axe. Damn it.
So then is the rest of it just loose cash?
Yeah, basically. Or in a bank account.
Because the Martini rifle only costs $20 apparently.
Hand axe.
Hand axe, right there on Father John Carver. Just in case, like I won't use it in anger. I've got me fists for that.
I'm still gonna make it as a weapon. You never know.
All right, yeah, no, I mean it's it's better than nout.
Yeah.
So we've got 165 left over.
I suggest we all buy a spear and we form some kind of phalanx. And march slowly towards the evil ones. Do we have telephone?
Yes. Telephone and telegram.
We got one! That's what I'm expecting any second. Do we have an assistant?
We're gonna go through that in a moment.
Sheila. Janine.
Well, she's a woman.
Let's call her Janine.
I mean, she already have a name. She's not been born.
True.
She's not been born into the job.
True.
Axe.
I don't think there's magic spells in this game unless you get.
There is.
I was going to say unless you get to a certain level and unlock them, like you need a book and learning.
Spells you need basically you have to read through a Mythos tome. They're quite rare. But yeah, you can. But basically, the more spells and stuff you use, the more your mind fractures, and some of them are hilarious.
Schnoz enormo.
D6 +1.
you'll make his nose any bigger. You'll tear the world asunder. Don't do this, you monster.
Right, so bank account 1,000. Account. Yeah, again, Greg, you don't need to. We're talking about your actual. So, do you have a house, Greg?
No,
or
that's all my expensive shit, basically.
Right. Okay. Again, if it's under 50 quid, we're not going to bother. This is for your bulk stuff. So.
Right. I don't have anything that's expensive then.
Okay, so in which case, so you've got no furniture or anything, for example?
No.
No, we're living in fucking Plague's house.
In which case, you need to put something like bank account $1,500 because this is your actual. Like, if you go into debt or something, this is what you have. Otherwise, we can't just like go around and say, "Oh, do you want to buy a half-empty box of 45 ammunition to pay off my debt?" Right, I think that's pretty much everything. If not, we'll just do that another time.
So, by the way, for fighting axe, it's only big axes. A small hatchet like my hand axe I can use with the basic brawling skill.
Yeah.
Just checking the rules. I'm going to be a bit of a rules lawyer on that one. And you haven't added it to my melee weapons either. Just FYI.
Okay.
I'm trying to save you time later, mate.
Where are you? Combat. Does Chai have his weapon? Yes. Right, so Roy needs his shotgun.
Fudge.
Because Klaus has bought the Clyde, no one else can buy that house now, can they?
No, it's a prefabricated house. So it's like in America, you could buy out like pre-made houses, basically.
Do we have aluminum siding? I think we should all spring for that. Well, that came along in the 50s, actually. Ignore me.
Could I buy the Clyde and then rent those rooms out to randoms?
I mean, technically, yeah, but we'll do that. We'll do that another
you do that off stream, Greg, rather than plot
Greg
your
determined to make this the worst stream of all time.
Property empire.
I was simply posing the question.
Greg, I think I want to roleplay a landlord today, man. Can we sort that out for next time?
Lads, I'm leaving the investigator's career behind. I get into property.
That's just so funny.
Oh god.
Tin Men, that's the name of the movie. Tin Men. Danny DeVito movie.
Give me a sec. And then Roy's shotgun. We're good to go. So, okay. Right. Okay. So now that we've sorting out our fucking shopping. Christ.
50 minutes.
Yeah. We're just gonna quickly go through did we decide on a name for this gaff?
Yes, Investigatores Extraordinaris.
Right. So basically what we'll say is that you guys are going to pull together to make a little sort of like base of operations, essentially. So you still have your own gaff for the moment, but you're essentially as a group, you're looking to find somewhere that you can do your investigations from, because obviously you're going to be dealing with
people
all
coming
sorts of
in.
things.
We need
sorts of things.
research materials.
Exactly.
A laboratory, and of course a shrine to pray.
and a fucking entire wing for all of Greg's wardrobe.
So after some time, I mean, this is going to take you a long time, because you are essentially at the start. Between you don't really have a huge amount of money, and you're obviously still working your normal jobs during this time, and you're also doing a couple of bits and bobs, like a few jobs here and there, stuff that's doesn't really end up too connected to the sort of bizarro world that you've already been through. So mostly just sort of false leads and fake rumors and missing people that just turned out to be, missing for normal reasons and stuff like that. So make a bit of money, and eventually you do manage to find a place in the sort of downtown area of New York. Your landlord is a lad called Mr. Corbett, and he's like a elderly sort of businessman who's dealt with all sorts of people. He deals with politicians and the police. He's got ties everywhere, and he's very, very well respected geezer. And
does he know what we do?
Well, so just by sort of happenstance, he does sort of have a inkling that there's something kind of weird in the world. Not enough for him to pursue it himself or to sort of get people involved, but he's open to the idea that there might be strange things, because obviously being in the position that he's in, he's kind of heard rumors from things about, with the police and sometimes things happening in other parts of the world. So he's not gonna throw you out on the street, and essentially because he's a bit open to the sort of investigations and things that you'll be doing in the property that you want to rent from him, he is open to you using the property. So you manage to find a property that isn't a bad price. It has room for all the things that you sort of want, like a little office area at the entrance, so people can come in and ask for people, and everything you could want in a small house like this, essentially. Doesn't have enough room to have everyone live in there, so it could maybe fit a couple people, but most of the time you'll probably be in your own place.
Bless you.
Jesus.
Sorry.
So you're going to end up thinking about in a short time wanting to get some, like a single person basically in there to make sure that people don't break in and stuff like that. We'll do that in the next session, because we spent so much time on this. But just as a setting the foundation for the organization, you're based in New York, out in downtown. You've got a little place that can serve as your sort of base of operations. You can store stuff that you might not necessarily need or want to keep at home. So for example, you could leave the tool set, for example, or the binoculars or whatever. You could leave that there. It's not going to impact your gameplay, but just as an example. So we will go from there, and essentially between raising enough money to kind of afford this place, building up your reputation a bit, so that people, you're still not that well known, but people in the like sort of upper hierarchies of some places do kind of know, not particularly too invested in what you're doing, but there are feelers. You got feelers out in New York.
What do they hear though? It's just like, we killed a couple fish guys.
Well, they understand. So your organization essentially is advertising that you
creepy ghouls in your basement or cellar.
Yeah, investigate
unusual goings on in the attic. Call the investigators extraordinary right now, or telegram us at 137 Clyde House.
Things that maybe the police wouldn't bother with, people might come to you instead because they think, well,
we're open.
Yeah,
we are ready to believe you.
So throughout all this, basically a year passes, less than a year. So it goes from April, and now we're in January. So you can move over to the case tab now, and we'll kick off. So it's January 17th, 1927. Nearly over a year since your first encounter with the weird. Charlie the Schnoz McLean has been contacted by Gerald Fraser, a wealthy and well-known banker from New York. Having been recommended McLean from a mutual acquaintance, he wants the investigators to help find his missing son, James Fraser. Due to his reputation, he stresses the importance of getting the job done quietly and without attention. So he's talking to you on the phone, Charlie, and he's essentially telling you that his son was a student at the Miskatonic University in Arkham, which is in Massachusetts. 9 days ago, he basically vanished. He wanted to go and apparently visit his girlfriend in Kingsport, which is further south.
Isn't Kingsport near where we met the fish people?
No, that's Rockport.
Okay, my bad.
But it is in the general vicinity.
Okay.
So it's in Massachusetts, so near the coast. So they were in an argument, and James essentially told Gerald that he was gonna go and sleep at a motel, and then just go off and meet his girlfriend. Now, he's basically thinking that James has never arrived in Kingsport, because when he contacted his girlfriend, then she didn't even know that he was like anywhere near, or he never arrived essentially. So he sent you $200 retainer, so that's money up front that you can use, and a photograph of James, as well as some basic information about what he looks like. So if you look at the clues, you should have one clue: photo of James Fraser.
Yes.
Tall man, 6'2".
Yeah.
Blonde hair and brown eyes.
Black Chrysler coupe.
Interesting. Well, he would have stood out. Blonde hair and brown eyes, driving a car like that.
Number plate Ashy B1652.
Interesting. Shouldn't be too hard to find.
So basically, your options are at the start. You know that he spent the night at a motel at the bare minimum. You don't know what happened to him after that. You know he must be roughly in the area between Kingsport and Arkham. So you have quite a broad range to search.
Do we know where his girlfriend is?
Yes. So his girlfriend lives in Kingsport, and her name is Emily Livingstone. And you can, if you want, we can do a library use, and we can find out exactly where she lives, or you can potentially even go to the university to talk to people that might know James.
Okay. Gentlemen,
for example,
where do you say she just lives in Kingsport, and we find out specifically where?
You just want to... Okay, so you want to just basically find out where... we can assume that you can either go straight to her. You know exactly where she lives, like based off the fact that she's boyfriend to James Fraser. So you can either telephone her or just go over to her in Kingsport if you want.
Do we know? Do we know which motel he was trying to check into?
No.
Do we know where he made that last phone call?
You don't know exactly. So the thing is that when Gerald and James were on the phone, they were in an argument. So there is potential that he might have heard exactly where, but he can't really quite recall exactly where James Fraser was staying.
I take it he's on the phone with us like right now. So questions that we're thinking of, we can ask him.
Yeah.
What did they argue about? It might make a difference.
Essentially, James wanted to abandon his studies at the Miskatonic University.
Did he say why?
Well, he wanted to just go out and live with his sweetheart. So, essentially, he was getting kind of sort of sick of the university and wanted to spend time with his girlfriend. So
what was he studying again?
Just economics. Just a young economics student, and just basically up and left, threw in the towel, and kind of said, "Well, I'm just gonna go and live with my girlfriend now." So he essentially just didn't want to study anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And went off to drive down to Kingsport to go and live with his bird.
But he never made it. All right, lads, are we gonna? There are a few ways we can do this, I reckon. We can talk to her first. We can talk to some of the other students at the university that were on his course and were maybe friends with him. Try and find out what they have to say about him. Find out what she has to say about him. But I kind of think that we want to gather some information before we go see her, so that we can find out whether she's being honest about what happened to him, based on the things that other people tell us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I also want to try and find out what motels are on the route between Arkham and Kingsport.
Well, how about this? If we drive down, if we go to Arkham, talk to all the students there, and we drive down to Kingsport, we can stop at the motels on the way and check in and see if they saw him that night.
True.
So do you want to? You can do a library use check to see what motels are likely to have been potentially used by him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll have a go at that. I think me and Miles can are pretty decent at that.
Yeah, do you want to do a group library check? Might as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yikes, lads. Thought you were too good at this. Nice.
Yes, John.
Arthur John.
Okay, so you basically consult the maps of the area between Kingsport and Arkham, and the thing is that it's actually quite rural. So there's only a couple of roads that really go direct from Arkham to Kingsport, and essentially one of these roads doesn't have anything on it. Pretty much, it's just a rural route. The other one's got one motel between the two towns. So as far as you're aware, unless he decided to take a detour to another place around the area, the only motel that's on a direct route is called the Squatters Lake Motel, and that's the only motel that's on a direct route. But there might potentially be other places of interest he might have gone to, provided he didn't go there directly.
Okay. Shall we go to the university first, chaps, and then we'll go and check out this motel, and then we'll talk to Emily? Does that seem like a decent course?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hop in the what kind of
Capital?
The Chevy Capital.
Except Miles is gonna.
Apart from
Miles is on the bike.
Evelyn's on the old motorcycle. Does it have a sidecar?
Actually, I don't know. Actually,
You could probably buy one, but it's a bit late for that.
Too late. We'll think about that because that would be awesome. Because that way we could send like 2 people off on a mini mish in the old.
Put Klaus in
That's
there.
true. Yeah, we could split up a bit better.
All right.
I mean, one could always ride.
I also have my own car as well, so we have a lot of different transport options.
I'll not be riding side saddle with some bird driving. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's just get there. Let's go.
Right, let's
Okay,
to the university, to the Miskatonic.
Miskatonic University, yeah. So it's a bit of a drive. You're coming from New York, and eventually you reach the university. It's basically one of the big universities in Massachusetts, and has quite a name for itself. You essentially go into the large kind of reception. It's a fairly sort of Gothic style building, large green grounds, lots of students bustling about as you'd expect. You talk to the receptionist to basically ask about James Fraser, and while she's not at liberty to divulge some information, because you've been asked by Gerald, you're not going to mention that to her because you want to try and keep this on the down low, but you know enough about James for her to believe that you're in it for his sake.
Of course.
You know. You know.
Crew.
We're not in this for the money.
You're
Don't
not
worry
Just a massive taxi driver.
about all the guns and axes, and I'm not wearing brass knuckles for your sake, of course.
So she essentially directs you to his room, which is on the east side of the campus, and it turns out he actually has a roommate called Travis Bryce, and he was pretty, on pretty good terms with James Fraser. You managed to get a hold of him while he's inside the room that they both shared, so you've got a chance to talk to Travis.
I don't know about you lads. I'm pretty good at persuading people, and people tend to trust a priest.
I'm good at intimidating people. So if the persuasion doesn't work, I'll get big
My
Roy.
persuader is also very good.
I'm just thinking a friendly face like Father John Carver might relax the young fella and open him up a little bit.
Go on then.
Travis, my name's Father John Carver out of New York. What's the crack with yous?
Well, James has gone missing.
Ah, yes. My son, we've been sent to look for him. Anything you could tell us might be of use, no matter how small.
Well, I didn't really, see that much of James. He's very off doing his own thing a lot of the time, so we don't really talk that much. But still, it was quite a surprise to see he'd gone. He'd seemed fairly into his studies. Been here a bit. I used to see him in all the morning classes up at dawn, and I didn't think that he was the sort of person to kind of get up and leave. But he's left me without a roommate now. Didn't even leave me a note or anything. So
whereabouts was? Did he have any things that he left around, like possessions or like a cabinet or anything like that he might have left here?
No, I mean his stuff's in the other room if you want to take a look, but most of it is just general university things that you could get anywhere. I don't think
it's worth a look though, isn't it, team? We could
always worth a look.
Have a look. All right. How about while I'm chatting to him, you guys go and have a look over his stuff.
Whips out
magnifying
Here's
glass.
the personal suggestions.
Whips out magnifying glass and searches room.
Alright, Greg, you get 4 extra die. Spot hidden.
Yeah,
roll me a spot hidden.
Is
this for everyone that goes in the room, or just Greg?
Wow, I mean just Greg. If he's actively searching for it,
is this spot hidden +1 because magnifying glass, or just
no.
He's done it anyway.
Okay, so you have a rummage around through James's room, but to be perfectly honest, it honestly doesn't look like there's been any foul play here whatsoever. The books are just sort of nicely tidy on the shelf. There's no sort of trash or anything, no signs of any kind of struggle or involuntary actions. So it does just look like he's picked up a few of his personal possessions and left most of his university-related things like books and notes. He's left those behind, but other than that, it doesn't seem suspicious to you.
Okay.
But Travis knows he's left, but he doesn't know he's missing.
Travis, yeah. So basically, Travis, he knows that James is just upped and gone, but he's kind of in a grey area where the actual reason or the way that he's just gone and disappeared is a bit strange to him. He could kind of understand it if they talked about it and then he just said, "Oh, this is why I'm leaving," but he's just up and vanished. So yes, he kind of, has a bit of a suspicion that something might be wrong, but at the same time he doesn't know for sure. It could just be, he just left.
Now, Travis, did you see young Fraser talking to anybody else in the days before he left? Someone that perhaps you hadn't seen him with before?
Well, he was always talking about his girlfriend, wasn't he? Emily. She lives down in Kingsport. That's all he would talk about, to be honest. Between you and me, I reckon he's just gone off to live with her, to be honest. The thing is that he only met her recently.
How recently?
Within the year. And they didn't get to see each other much because, on account of her living all the way down here and he lives all the way up here, and with university, she's at university, he's at university, they didn't have much time,
Did they write to each other much, do you know?
Yeah, I think they wrote letters and stuff, maybe. To be honest, we didn't really talk that much, so I could only sort of occasionally get an idea of what he was up to. But I mean, as far as I know, they had a normal relationship. So
would you say that of everyone at the university, that you were the closest with him?
I would say James was kind of kept to himself in general, like myself. That's why we kind of got on, because we didn't really, fuss around with each other too much. So we kind of liked it that way. But Emily was the only person that he genuinely seemed interested in or keen to talk to. So yeah, maybe you could ask a couple of people, other people in his classes, but I wouldn't know who to go to for that, unfortunately.
I mean, we may as well, but if we do, it's cutting into time, chaps.
I feel like this is pointless, honestly.
There's nothing in his room. The most this lad's told us is he's massively into Emily. There's no letters from her that we found here.
I think we've got to get to Kingsport.
I think we've got to try and
find...
find...
The only point of interest I found from this is that he seemed quite into his studies, so perhaps Gerald is like...
What if we had a quick chat with his professor?
Yep.
And then, if we don't get anything from that, let's head to this motel and we'll go chat to Emily. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, after leaving Travis and James's room, you essentially head back to reception. You ask for the professor. You have to wait a bit because they're teaching a class, but eventually you manage to catch up to them. And again, you don't really get much information from them. They're just as surprised about James leaving as Travis is. Apparently James, he attended classes, wasn't exactly a star pupil by any means, but pretty inconspicuous, was just, going on with his studies. Hadn't really a reason to believe that he would just leave, but at the same time isn't particularly surprised because students leave all the time. So you don't really get any new information from the professor.
I'm out of ideas for what to do here at the uni. Shall we just head to the motel
I
then?
think
Chaps?
I don't think it's much. I mean, yeah, there's nothing much. We need to get more information, then we can maybe go back to Gerald.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna pile into.
I think Gerald is something sus is going on with Gerald here.
Yeah, I don't like the way that Gerald said he was always he always studied, yet he wasn't a star pupil according to his professor.
It just means he's not that good. I mean, he's hard working, but not the brightest lad in the fucking lad drawer.
No, what I'm saying is I think there's another reason why he left. It's not just because he was done.
No, I think it was because of Emily, personally. She put a spell on him of some kind. Alright, well, let's head to the Squatters Lake Motel then. We'll pile into the Batmobile and off we go.
Okay, so you take the ride down the direct route from Arkham and the Miskatonic University down through towards Kingport, and eventually you reach the Squatters Lake Motel. I'll quickly reveal a map to you. So as you come down from Arkham, the motel sits on the shores of like a kidney bean shaped lake, surrounded by all these trees, and then the road kind of curves through the trees and goes down towards Kingsport. It is pretty barren in terms of like the sort of area in terms of there's not really much to see. Like it's basically just trees and bushes. The motel and the lake are pretty much the only thing of note that you've seen along this entire road. The motel itself is kind of it's not derelict per se, but it's definitely seen better days. And having said that, there are still some cars lined up outside.
Well, let's go up to the front desk, I guess, no? And flash this picture, or do we want to be a bit craftier about it? We don't have any reason to be suspicious.
Yeah.
Let's just
I think it's better to
direct.
just ask.
Alright, to the front desk. Ding ding! Yeah, I'm right here, innit? Oh, sorry.
So the reception is kind of like glass panelled. It's got giant white card with vacancy hanging on it. And as you go in, a bell basically dings above your head to signal that the motel has customers. There's a desk that's right across you, a reception desk, and on the wall behind it, there are these two boar head trophies hanging on either side, with a shotgun hanging in between them, and underneath it, sort of board with a bunch of keys, which you assume is for the rooms of the motel. There's a couple of oil lamps and a bunch as you go in, on the left and the right hand walls, there's a lot of different number plates. Like number plates from cars, and they're all hanging up like decorations. But on the right hand wall, some of the number plates, there are like gaps where number plates probably were, but are no longer there. Like there's exact spaces.
Do we see a number plate matching the car of Mr. Fraser?
You look through the number plates, and you can't find the number plate for this vehicle on the wall.
Let's just note down some of these number plates, just in case if we subsequently find out that these number plates belong to people who also went missing. It might be good to know that.
Well, we could also we should ask about them.
Well, no, I think we should ask about them, but we should also take note before we ask about them. So, all right, is any proprietors turning up?
Yep. So after about a minute of you kind of waiting around, looking at the number plates and just having a look at the outside through the window, the door behind the reception creaks open, and a sort of elderly man kind of stumbles out into the reception area. Behind him, there's another man in a wheelchair, just kind of sort of sitting in the doorway after the first man kind of comes in. They're both kind of, you'd say, elderly but not old, so sort of between 50 and 60. They both have...
Am I going to be elderly in 3 years?
But, well, yeah. So they have kind of whitish hair, kind of sunken cheeks. don't look particularly well for their age, and they kind of look similar. So you think they could be related, but as you're thinking all this stuff, he basically says, "Hello, can I help you? Welcome to the Squatters Lake Motel." Introduces himself.
Hello there, my son. Go ahead.
I'm William Brophy, and this is my brother Robert, and we own the Squatters Lake Motel. So how can we help you? Oh, and don't mind Robert, he can't talk much. So
I'm Father John Carver, and these are my associates. We're just up here after a friend of ours that's gone missing, and just wondered if you'd seen him. And I'm going to show him the picture of the lad, Mr. James Fraser.
So you show him the picture of James Fraser with the with the photo and the information that Gerald has scribbled underneath, and he takes a look at it. And Evelyn, you notice that he kind of squints, like there's a bit of recognition in his face as he sees it. Kind of half recognition, half confusion, like thinks he sees it, he's not entirely sure, but it's just for a second, and then he says, "No, I've never seen this young man, I'm afraid." But then again, we don't get many guests in this part, as you can see.
Is there any? Can I attempt to persuade him to?
You can talk to him. You can ask him stuff. Absolutely.
Now he's not in any trouble. We just want to find out if he stayed here. That's all we're asking. Did he stay here on the night of the whatever it was when he went missing?
Nice jump, Alistair.
Almst_ just resubbed for 69 months.
I would have recognised him. We only get a few guests every month based on where we are, so there's really not a lot of people coming through this area.
How many rooms do you have available tonight?
Well, we've got 8 rooms in total. Room 5 is off limits. That's where my brother Robert, that's where he sleeps. But we have guests in 3 of the rooms at the moment. So 3 guests out of 7.
Interesting.
Might I inquire into this curious collection of number plates you have here?
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, this wasn't us actually. We bought the motel from a couple, and we basically just carried on the tradition that they were doing all this stuff with the number plates. Personally, I'm not too much of a fan of it, but Robert, he kind of likes this thing. He was big into cars, so for his sake, we kept doing it. So you'll see around the motel there's a fair few things that aren't really our design, but we're too old to do anything about it.
So you say you don't get many people, but you've got 3 guests tonight. Is that unusual for you?
Yeah, it's quite busy, honestly, for a random night in January. We usually the most number of guests we get around holidays. People sometimes make the trip between Arkham and other cities nearby. So yeah, honestly, 3 is not a huge amount. But to be honest, it doesn't really bother us because we're essentially getting on, and the less people to deal with, the better.
Can I slip away at this point and start questioning the guests?
You could, yeah.
Nice.
So you wanna leave?
Frosty
well, you don't know where
just
the other guests are.
I'm just gonna knock on the doors.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
well, why don't we ask first, because we don't want to rub this guy up the wrong way.
Well, if they're suspicious, if there doesn't seem like they want to give anything away, if they have anything to give away,
right?
So if we ask, they might just say no.
Right, but then if we just said, like, all right, I've got an idea. What's the deal with food? Do you do dinner here of any kind for people, or?
No, I'm afraid. Well, we're so far out that we get a grocery delivery every Tuesday, so we don't actually serve food here, but if you want food, we can ask them to bring it on the Tuesday, and then you can.
Would you mind if we just had a quick chat with some of your guests and see if maybe they've seen him whilst they're coming the other way or on the road or anything like that? Because the young man's gone missing, and his parents are awful worried. Like.
I mean, you could if you want, but truthfully, I don't want to cause them any bother. So I would
just a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes. It won't be much.
I would rather I'd be more inclined to if you were perhaps maybe spending a bit of money here, for example.
Oh, I see. What kind of time of day is it here? Looking in Squatch.
So it's getting kind of late now. It's around maybe. It's getting on to about 6 p.m. at the moment.
Wow, well, sure, we'll be staying the night here ourselves anyway, so.
All right. In which case, yeah. Okay, we'll put you in some rooms, and then you can.
Bagsy with Klaus.
I'll share with
Actually, not with the snobs.
I think Evelyn should get her own room. That's only seemly.
I'll even pay for it if you'd like.
So we've got one room with 2 singles.
That's me and Klaus.
2 rooms with 1 single in each, and 1 room with a double.
Well, Evelyn gets her own bed, and Roy gets his own bed, and then who's that leave?
Roy needs the double.
Roy gets the double.
Yeah,
Roy does need the double.
Massive body.
Roy needs the double. Yeah, and then me for the other single room.
All right. Okay. So you're just kind of chatting to him, and you basically hand him over. It's 50 cents a night per room.
Jesus.
So you hand him
take note.
$2.50.
It's $2 because it's 4 rooms, right?
Oh yeah, jeez.
Well, I mean that's nothing though. We can within our spending, whatever.
So he hands you the keys to your rooms, and that's it. And he kind of just sort of leans on the reception, kind of begrudgingly waiting for you to ask him anything else, but also kind of giving the impression that he just wants to be done with you and go back to whatever it was he was doing.
Did we ask why some of the number plates are missing?
Nope.
He said it was
nothing about the number plates.
You did, but he said it was nothing to do with us, and they were already there.
Well, no, he said that the number plates, like the idea of putting number plates on the wall, was the previous owners. Like that's what the previous owners did, but they've continued doing that since taking over the motel.
Well, where do they come from?
Yeah, where did they get them from?
Oh, well, you're asking him.
Yeah.
Where'd you fucking get him from then?
Well, Robert used to, like I said, he was big into cars and stuff. So we just get them at the scrapyard and some sort of random bits and bob shops that we find. They're always on sale. But I can only afford to go out to the sort of city maybe once or twice a month, if that. And I don't like to leave Robert. So yeah, honestly, most of this room was already filled by the time we took over this place. We've only added a few more, but when I can,
I'm missing, mate.
Well, some of them were, I think, quite old, and they were getting really rusty and just kind of grim to look at. I mean, if you look at some of these ones over here that are kind of nice and pristine yellow and stuff, that was the sort of vibe that we wanted. But the ones that kind of deteriorate and rust into orange nothingness, we just bin them basically.
Well, let's go and chat to these other guests then, lads.
Yeah.
It's not late enough that they'll have gone to bed, so we'll go and knock on some doors and see if the other guests recognise him. If they've seen him, we'll run the license plate by them, see if they have anything they can give us.
Okay. So you're gonna all go as a group for this, or take individual?
We could do two and one. We could do that.
Okay.
Just get it done quickly.
All right, so let's say Evelyn. Well, who are we pairing up with?
I can go as the 1 because my persuade is very good.
I'll go with Klaus.
Sure, roommates. Which means Roy and Evelyn.
You and me, Evelyn.
Okay. So Roy and Evelyn, you knock on the first room number 6. This is the. I'll tell you what. I'll reveal a map so you can kind of see.
Is this a mind palace?
No, this is a maps map.
Oh.
Right, so you can see there's the reception, living quarters, William's like his room. Robert doesn't actually live in this bit. He lives in room number 5, which is out the back, and then they have a workshop, and they have stairs, and ramps owing to Robert's
Which
wheelchair.
rooms are we in, by the way?
So Roy's in room 4. Klaus and Father John, you're in room 1, and then it doesn't matter who's in room 2 or room 3, but I guess Charlie's in room 2 and Evan's in room 3, right?
What we want to do is get room 6 so we can get into the mysteriously locked room 5 and have a look in there.
Well,
because what I don't get is he has a room, so why isn't he staying in that room?
He because he's got a wheelchair. I mean, you don't know at this point, but there's obviously a reason.
Well,
but
we can speak to the person in room 6 and see what they have to say about
True.
things.
All right. Well, let's go and chat to these other guests.
So right. So we'll start with let's say who wants to go first actually.
You were saying me and Evelyn were going to room 6.
Okay.
So
Okay, room 6. So you knock on the door to room 6, and after about 30 seconds, a tall, heavily built man comes out, kind of opens the door and kind of peeks out. It's he's in a nice kind of black suit. He's in his mid-40s. He's well built, and his nose is kind of bent. So you think he's probably kind of like a hard geezer type character.
Right.
And he kind of says, hello, what do you want?
All right, sir. Just inquiring over a man we're looking for. Do we have the photo with us? Have we split it? Has someone got the photo?
That's a good point. You probably don't. Well, who would have the photo? Probably.
I guess we have to go together to show the picture. We can't do it any other way.
Okay, so we'll be together for this then. So we'll say that you have the photo, and the rest are kind of waiting on the side. They don't want to, you don't want to show like all 5 people. So just the 2 of you actually talking to this guy.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll show him the photo. Do you recognise this guy?
No, I don't. I've not seen him, and he just basically just closed the door on you.
Really? Okay. Can I try and stick my foot in the door?
The door is already. You don't, because of where you're standing. You can't really do that sort of. You're not close enough to the door for you to be able to quickly squeeze your foot in by the time he's closed it. So he just basically closes it on you. You weren't expecting it, and it's now closed.
What the fucking hell, lads? One down.
Well, bang! Knock on again, cheeky prick.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we've got fucking Roy. You can intimidate him.
So
this guy is also massive.
You knock on the door again, and there's no response. He's not answering the.
Let's get some fucking bricks, lads. Throw them through the window.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you want to go into another room, or?
Yeah, we'll try another room. Whichever the closest one to 6 is. I mean, I guess 7.
You then knock on room 7, and very shortly, a lady opens the door. She looks a bit tired, almost like she was actually falling asleep. But she's quite young. She has kind of nice clothes, but they're a bit frayed. Like she's not really been taking good care of them. But her actual personal appearance is quite good, and she's obviously takes care in, her hair and things like that. And she is kind of timid. She doesn't really like the idea of when she opens the door, she kind of sees you. She's not afraid per se, but she's a bit, itchy, like on her feet, and she sort of gestures you to speak when she opens the door.
Ask her name.
My name's Sarah Bonner. What was it?
Sarah, we're looking for a friend of ours who's gone missing. We've been, he's a friend of ours and a chap who's a friend of the family, if you like. We just wondered if you'd seen him coming through here. He would have stayed here a few days ago. Here's a picture. Big fella, hard to miss.
No, I'm afraid I haven't seen him at all. But I've not really seen anyone else here, to be honest. There's that lad that lives next door, room 8, the young man. But other than that, and the owners, I honestly haven't seen anyone around here. In fact, I'm only here for a bit, and then I'm heading off. So I'm afraid I can't help you.
Thank you.
Did you see a pause? Hang on.
Black Chrysler Coupe.
A black Chrysler Coupe.
I'm afraid I don't pay attention to that sort of stuff. I mean, my car's out back. It's just hanging out there. I can't really see it from here. So, based on where where my room is, I can't really see if there are any cars coming past or anything. So,
yeah.
What'd she say her name was?
Sarah Bonner.
Sarah Bonner. Okay, thank you.
You heard any strange noises in the motel, Sarah?
Yeah.
Particularly coming from room 5.
I wouldn't say from room 5, but between you and me, I do think there are rats living underneath this place because, it's on stilts, so it's not exactly well protected against these sort of critters. I keep hearing rummaging around underneath the floorboards, and to be honest, this whole place is pretty damn creepy. The lake, it's got all these weird lights around it at night, and there's some weird noises that sometimes come from the trees. But I talked to the owners about it, and they just say it's, apparently this place used to have loads of crows and things like that, but I've never heard a crow that makes these kind of sounds. But
Klaus hears the word lake and immediately goes fishing.
It's the fucking fishmen again, lads.
Well,
bloody hope it's not. Yeah, well, Christ.
Klaus can just throw fire at them again.
I'll tell you what. Those owners, they're a bit weird. I mean, they seem nice enough, but they do all sorts of bits and bobs around the lake, and they seem to be getting on. So I see them going across to the other side of the lake.
What kind of time of day do you see them doing that?
Usually very early in the morning.
Going to the far side of the lake.
I've only seen them do it twice. And
how long have you been here?
Not very long.
Wow.
Let's see. What day is it today? 17th. The 13th I checked in.
So they've gone basically every other day across the lake.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're up to.
And they both go.
Yeah, they both go. Yeah.
Even a lad in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both go.
How does he get in the boat?
No, they go round. They go round the edge of the lake.
There's they walk?
Yeah. They go round the shore of the lake to the other side.
I thought you meant they went in a boat. My apologies.
No, I've never seen anyone use the boat round here.
Well, it's lovely chatting to you, Mrs. Bonner.
Oh, no worries.
Might be a miss, mate. Just
Yeah,
saying.
she's
Miss.
miss.
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
hope
But that's good.
I hope you find this young man.
We've got.
Thank you. If you think of anything, we're staying in the other set of rooms on the other side, so just knock on any of those and you'll get us. Thank you.
Well, so we've got. It's on stilts, and there's clearly some stuff going on underneath the motel.
Yeah.
It could just be animals and that, but yeah.
Could be raccoons.
But it's worth checking. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
And there's obviously some shady shit going on the other side of the lake.
Well, there's something going
early
on.
morning walk
just,
is not exactly.
We can't
criminal
jump
behaviour.
to conclusions here, Professor.
Getting a fresh air and a bit of exercise, very recommended, healthy.
Exactly, like the doctor says, taking in God's natural wonder on a morning walk is
let's hear what the rest of the visitors have to say then.
Let us check room act. All right, Klaus.
So you knock on room 8 and you can hear a voice from the other side. He's not even opening the door. He says, "Who is it?"
We're here looking for a young fella who's gone missing. We wondered if you'd seen anything.
And kind of the moment that you mention that someone's missing, the door kind of like opens up completely, and the man's just standing right in front of you. He's kind of young, early 20s, and skinny, kind of wearing clothes that are a bit dirty, need a wash, so a bit kind of.
How
grimy.
tall is he?
Under 6 foot.
Oh, it's not him.
So
I think we'd recognise him from our photo.
I've never met him. Have you?
What? I'm just saying, mate. We have a fucking photo of him.
I can't remember what it looks like. I've only seen it 3 times.
I've only hung on to 6'2". If he's under 6 foot, he's disregarded.
Oh well, let's show him the picture.
So
he was a student of Miskatonic.
We'll say, oh, you're right, mate. You look a bit worse for wear.
Bloody rude.
That's such a shit thing to say.
That's such a northern thing to say, by the way.
Yeah, mate, you look like fucking shit.
You look like shit, mate. What's the fucking?
There's no world in which that's the intention. It's out of care, you know. It's like,
no,
it's not caring. This guy's a
okay. You're
fucking
right,
stranger.
and say you look a bit worse.
I would feel fucking insulted if someone knocked on my door. I opened it and said, "Well, you look like shit, mate."
Are you alright? Fuck me!
Fucking hell!
It's supposed to be like, oh man, are you okay?
I'll be even more insulted with that. I'm not a fucking child. Show me the bloody picture.
I'm showing him the photograph.
Great.
This is the fellow we're looking for.
So, so do we want to ask him if he's okay, or do
no?
We don't.
We'll come to that in a minute. But let's ease our way into it.
Get the fucking greetings done first.
Sorry, in my mind, we're shocked. We're like, oh my god, you know, this guy, like something.
He's not that fearsome. He just looks a little bit peaky. He might be hungover.
No, he's wearing dirty clothes and he's all rugged. It's like
it's not rugged. It's just like it's just like he's hasn't washed his clothes in a couple of weeks or something. Like, he's still.
He's still a human being, Gregory.
He's not like a hobo. He's not like a hobo or something.
Yeah.
Right. Show him the bloody picture.
So
I push Charlie the Schnoz McLean out of the way. Be quiet, you fucking idiot.
So you show him the photo, and he kind of studies it for a couple of seconds, and then he says, "Yeah, no, he was here. He stayed in the room behind me."
What, room number 4?
Yeah.
Why do you remember him?
Well, I mean, I've been here for a while, a couple, quite a while actually. And he came through one day, stayed the night, and then left, I guess.
And remember what car he had?
Yeah. Do you remember anything about his car?
I don't know what car he had. It was black though. But
sounds like
he showed up, and then in the morning, I woke up and the car was gone. So,
Would you say he was taller than you?
Well, I'm over 6.
He's already said he's seen him.
I'm over 6 foot. So
well, no. you just said 5 minutes ago, Plague, that you're only holding on to his fucking height.
But this guy's already said he's seen him.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier about the face.
Well, all right. He's seen him. How long have you been here for?
December 31st.
So quite a while.
Yeah.
What's the crack? Why have you stayed at this motel for so long? Is there something about the place you like, or because the other guests were saying that it's a bit funky?
Roll me your best persuasional skill.
Okay, that would be persuade. 61.
Nice.
Bang.
He's very.
So you ask him, why he's here, and he kind of looks at you.
I'm going to tap the dog collar.
And then he kind of sees that you've got some other characters outside, and he kind of he kind of steps aside to essentially allow you into the room.
Let's go in.
So he kind of comes into the room and he sits down on the edge of the double bed that he's renting, and he kind of looks a bit not like a genuine sadness, but kind of uncomfortable in that he doesn't really know what's going on or how to feel. So he's a bit kind of on edge, essentially, and kind of a bit down.
Relax, my son.
Yeah.
We're not here to persecute. We're here to prosecute. No, we're here to look for someone.
So, well, yeah, I've been here for a few weeks now, waiting on my friend, Abe Hickey. He was supposed to meet me here a few weeks ago. I got here the day before we were supposed to meet, and he just never showed up.
Sorry, Mum. What was this lad's name again?
Abe Hickey.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this lad's name is Jacob Trent, and his friend is
Abe Hickey.
Abe Hickey. So, yeah. So Jacob is just kind of telling you about how he was supposed to meet a friend here. He says, yeah, he was from Boston. We were supposed to meet at this hotel because it's one of the only hotels or motels that's between Arkham and Kingsport and Boston. So we decided to meet here, but just never showed up.
And you've been waiting for him here ever since.
I've been waiting for him because we were close, and it's not like him to sort of just not show up after he said, man of his word. So I'm just gonna wait here. Maybe he's in a bit of trouble or something, or just wait here and see what happens.
Have you not thought about going and looking for him, perhaps?
Well, I talked to his parents. I know them a bit, and they hadn't seen him either. They thought that he was going off on a vacation, basically, which I imagine that's what he told them. But I don't know where to go. But to be honest, I'm thinking about calling the police on this. The thing is that I don't really have anything to go on, and I don't think the police would either. So
perhaps we can help.
Have you much money there, Jacob? Because so what were you going to meet about? What was the deal? Why were you meeting up here, and where were you going?
Well, I mean, we were just friends, and I just wanted, we'd been together for since school as best friends, and we were just gonna go on a little trip and see some things. Our parents are quite strict, and they didn't really let us have fun like all the other kids our age. So we just thought, what, screw them. We'll go and have a bit of fun ourselves. Hit up some cities and see some sights. But yeah, he just never showed up. If you ask me, there's something wrong with the two guys running this place.
But we've heard that from one of the other guests, but you're saying that Abe never made it here.
Well, they say he never came here. I don't know. I arrived here, and since I've been here, he hasn't shown up. So I asked them if he'd come through, and they said they hadn't seen him. So
have you heard anything at night, perhaps, or seen anything unusual while you've been staying?
I mean, I don't know. The lake is a bit dodgy. They have some weird lights going on at night. It's something to do with the moon and the fog. Apparently, that's what the owners say. But other than that, I mean, you can kind of hear the rats underneath the rafters. So to be honest, it's not a surprise that there's not a whole lot of people staying here, because honestly, if I wasn't waiting for someone else, I would just be off and I wouldn't stay here another night. It's a bit of a dive.
Do we have any other questions for Abe? Actually, sorry, go ahead, Abe.
This is not Abe, but
this is
Jacob.
Yeah. If you want, you should. They're in that workshop of theirs around the back a lot of the time.
Really?
So keeps me up sometimes. Doing all sorts. They say it's because they gotta maintain this place because it's kind of old and falling apart. Which, I can see that, to be honest. But it is annoying. I'll say that.
You know anything about the man in room 6?
Oh, Bill. Yeah, no, Bill keeps to himself. You tried talking to him. I bet he didn't say much.
He did not.
Ooh.
No, he's keeps to himself. He's been here for a few days now, I think. But yeah, I haven't really talked to him at all.
And what about Sarah in the next room?
He does sometimes. He does go on walks around the lake every day, I think. So you could probably try asking him stuff then, where
maybe we'll
catch him. Can't run away.
Yeah, good call. And what about Sarah in the room next door? Anything from her?
Yeah, she seems friendly. I think she's here. She's like visiting her parents or something, so she's just staying a few nights. I think her car is kind of like falling to bits. I don't know if you've seen this out front, and the two guys running this place, they claim that they can fix it for her and send her out. So I think she's waiting on that. But I mean, it's been a few days now, so don't know what the hold up is.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, we'll be staying in the next set of rooms over. So if you think of anything, or anything happens that you're worried about, you come and tell us right away, any time of day or night. Do you understand?
I will be staying in room 4 where James was.
There you go.
Okay. Yep. So he kind of nods solemnly, and you file out of the room onto the landing, and he closes the door behind you.
So it appears the proprietors lied to us. They told us they had not seen the gentleman, and yet he stayed in room 4.
Do we confront them with this, or do we keep it under our hats? I think
it's a hat play until we find
it is a hat
play. Keep it under the fedoras.
Perhaps an outside ambush might work. Catch them in the act when they go for their morning stroll.
Let's look at room 4 first.
Klaus, I'd like to ask you what part you'll be playing in this ambush. Because there's no
overall command from a distance.
There's no larders to lock yourself in and chuck fire at the rest of us, you fucking idiot.
Speaking of locking myself in, do we have the room keys?
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion that we unlock all of the adjoining doors, so if there's trouble we can get to each other?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go into your respective rooms.
Can we check out room 4 first? Given it was the missing boys placed home away from home.
Indeed.
Good idea.
As a team?
Yeah.
As a team, yes. Apart from Roy, because it was not his idea at all. And he is doing nothing to do with this.
So you go in to room 4, and there's the double bed that's on the opposite side. there's a door that goes into the adjacent room 3. It's bolted shut from this side. There's a small sort of bathroom in the corner, and other than that, there's nothing really of note. There's a bookcase with a bunch of books, a rug, tables on the side of the bed, some lamps. Everything you've noticed is oil, not electric. So there are oil lamps on either side of the bed, and other than that, there's nothing really of note.
Can I just look under the rug? I know that there's
under the bed as well.
Yeah.
There's we're on stilts. There might be like trapdoors underground or something. Leading down.
As you lift open the rug, you see that there is a trapdoor nestled
Holy shit!
Knew it!
Into the floorboards, and it fits snugly. It's about 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters. So
Roy just doesn't look like a job for you.
Roy is fucked.
I will defend from the top.
Let's check the other rooms and see if there's trapdoors in our rooms as well.
Yeah. If we want to do, can we do a group spot hidden? Please.
Yeah.
I love a group spot hidden.
I'm bad at this.
Roy!
Oh no!
Oh God, Father John!
Father John!
Nothing is hidden from God.
Roy's keen eye.
If I can't see it,
down the trapdoor and dies.
So, Roy, you go towards the bookcase because you see that there's a bunch of sort of books on random stuff like history, wildlife, some sort of classic novels, but there's also a sort of thin notebook that's kind of propped up on the other side, so away from all the books, essentially on the top shelf of the bookcase. And you open it up, and it seems to be a diary.
Let's read it.
So you should be under your clues.
God forbid we ever have to search someone who doesn't keep a diary.
How many pages is this? One page. Okay. Alright, here we go. Thank you. Felt so tired after the row with my dad, and staying at this dump hasn't helped. Car still broke down. Old man William says he thinks he can fix it, but I don't know whether I can trust him. This place creeps me out, and it's only been one night. Hate the noisy frogs around the lake, and I saw lights out there when I went for a stroll. Late night fishermen, or maybe fishmen.
Oh my God!
Oh God. The 3 boats were tied up, and I can't imagine those decrepit old brothers going out there at night. The lake stinks anyway. Had the worst time last.
He means last night.
Oh, so there's a spelling mistake. Last night.
Oh, I see. Had the worst time last night too. Sleepwalking. Not done that since I was a child. Dreamt I was underwater, floating through a weird city littered with corpses. I awoke after midnight, freezing cold outside my room. The lights in the reception were blazing. Those old fellows are strange, and I haven't seen much of them, thankfully. They spend all their time in that workshop or whatever it is facing the lake. Damn it, if the car isn't fixed today, I might just take my chance and hitch a lift to Kingsport. I miss you so much, Emily.
Shit.
Well, his car's broke down.
But it's not there anymore.
It's not there.
So he could still be alive if he left early.
Yeah, but his car is, unless they fixed it.
What do you think the chances of that are?
Pretty low.
I think it's trapdoor o'clock.
I have an additional recommendation. We've heard tale of this workshop the old men are always in. We could, if we don't want to go down the trapdoor yet, have someone go to reception and call for them for the context of asking them random questions, and whilst they're distracted, have people check out room 5 and the workshop.
I've got an even more devious idea. We need to give these lads a reason to come into one of the rooms. Room 4 is the furthest from room 5. We need to get them to come in and have a look at something, like a leaky tap or something like that. So we get them nice and distracted as far away from where we want to be peeking as possible. So we'll get them to come to room 4, have a look at the leaky bath in Roy's room. Meanwhile, the rest of us are having a look in the workshop in room 5. That way they can't just nip round the back there. We've got them all the way on the opposite side of the building from where we want to be.
We could also explore the trapdoor system and see if we can access the workshop from beneath.
I'm not fucking going under there. I mean, by God, I'll do it! Is there a phone here? Because we could try calling this Emily and find out if she's there and if she knows anything, rather than have to go all the way down there and get her. Because you're right, he might be there. And we might just say, look, we don't care if he's with you. We just want to know that he's not been killed. Is he with you? Just let us know if you've seen him or not. Is he safe? That's a simple phone call. So
there's no electricity, hence why they're using oil for all their lights. It's completely off grid.
How long would it take to ride on the motorcycle down to Kingsport?
You would probably be, by the time you left here, got there and came back, it would be a couple of days.
Oh Christ.
We've got to brave it out here right now.
Alright.
I'd be back for BRB one second.
I'm gonna pop to the loo as well, real quick.
Drink.
I'll do the same.
Wow.
No one was saying anything.
Still need to do plagues. Fumble spot hidden. Do that when we get back. It's gonna be an absolute laugh.
Ted's. How do you fumble a spot
How is
hidden?
it Ted's fumble? Oh, okay, right. Even
How do you fumble
better.
a spot hidden anyway?
You'll find out.
There's like a mouse trap in the corner.
Oh, good God. Gotta love a bit of Vassar, you know? Just gotta fucking love it.
You do just love it. You do just have to love it.
I have a little game pause thing at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
That's supposed to be there.
No, basically it just yeah, I forgot to go to it. It doesn't change anything for us. But in general, if you're doing like time-based combat and stuff for other RPGs, then you'd use it. But
I'm back.
As am I.
Right then, are we going to do the old?
Is Ashton back?
Oh.
No, I don't think so. I just need to do your finish off in here quickly before we move on to the next bit.
All right.
In terms of you failing your spot hidden.
Shit. I found it.
You're gonna fall down the trapdoor. You're gonna step on it by accident, and your immense weight just crushes it. Reggie, what's your size, Father John?
I am size 65.
Oh, not that big then.
He's back. All right.
So yeah, so while Roy is looking through the diary, the rest of you are also looking around. Roy, you look under the bed. You don't really see anything. Father John, you kind of rush, almost like rush into the bathroom, and because it's dark in the bathroom and the floor is wet, you essentially like slip on your ass. Can you roll me a D2?
Me?
Yeah. Actually, roll me a D4. Roll me a D4.
Ah, you bit of shattered your ass, Father. I can fix that for you.
Ah, me fucking arse!
So yeah, in your attempt to kind of like run into the bathroom to find
Wait,
stuff
this is
about...
my spot hidden. I'm not running.
No, but
you're gonna make me take injury because I didn't spot something.
No, it's not necessarily an injury, right? So you run into the bathroom and well, I say run. You like hurry into the bathroom and it's dark and it's slippery. You kind of fall over on your ass, and that's all that happens for now. That's all that happens. So
bro, when I got my critical failure, I lost.
You were 100% gonna lose
no,
until you complained then.
No.
I'm just looking around a room. I'm not.
I was
not one of the
generator.
I'm not one of the three stooges.
In the last game,
can you take sanity damage as we all laugh at him?
So remember that if you fumble something or if you fail something, the effects might not necessarily be immediate, and the effects aren't necessarily like super bad. It could just be something that happens later on that might be like a bit negative.
Later on, the stone dislodged by Father John's fall in the tunnels beneath his jacket falls onto Roy, trapping him, doing 1d5's worth.
Why am I always the person the bad?
You're the tank. You're the tank.
You were the first person to fuck up, Roy. You almost capitulated.
He was not the first person to fuck up. I was the first person to critically fail.
Oh, that's true. Actually, you
rowboat.
dropped the coin.
No, not the coin. Before even that, in the rowboat, I was the one that tipped us all in the sea.
Oh my god.
Klaus had a poor first session.
Klaus did his fucking job, and Klaus still wants to sell his 2 coins.
What is his job?
Heal.
Yeah, you have like 1 heal point over 2 sessions.
You are on crack, good sir.
What are you talking about? That's true.
I've healed a bunch of fucking HP. I can only do one health point every time you lose damage. So if you lose 3, I can only heal 1.
I don't believe it. I don't think anyone else here does.
Fuck you. Anyway, are we good to to go?
Yeah, so it's now getting kind of dark. It's around you arrived here at 6. It's now around 8 p.m. So it's now definite nighttime. So there's light flooding out from most of the rooms and the reception, and you can kind of see the fog on the lake and the cars around, but yeah, it's now dark outside. So what was it you wanted to do from here?
Well, we've got a dilemma now, haven't we?
We're either investigating the tunnels or initiating Operation Leaky Tap.
Yeah, but also, what if they go around the lake?
Well, if we see them go, we go into the workshop, don't we? That solves the problem.
They said early morning, though, right?
It was early morning. They said that, right?
Is
Bill
so true,
goes for
Miles.
walks at
correct
other times, but
yeah, no, okay. Can both not be undertaken simultaneously?
Can do.
I don't think we need 5 people for both of those tasks.
Absolutely.
You're right. Let's split up. We can cover more ground that way. That's how these things always begin.
Remember what we did last time?
Yeah, it worked a treat. Smash a
Right.
generator and got jumped. Perfect.
I fall over in the mud and fall in the trapdoor.
Who's getting
right,
underground?
I can't fit.
I mean, I've got my handgun concealed within my clothing, so I'm happy to go underground.
How about me and Roy check out the workshop?
Yeah.
Okay, Evelyn, can you go with the schnoz and go and check out underground? And Klaus, you can keep an eye out for. You could maybe keep them distracted at reception.
Yeah, can I initiate Operation Leaky Tap?
A long-winded chat.
Yes, perfect.
So
Germany, these things never happen.
I just want to say that when you try to open the trapdoor, it's actually locked from the other side, so you can't open it from.
Can we get Roy to jump?
Roy is gonna. No,
you could potentially roll a strength check for it.
Well, now hang on, lads. If it's locked from the other side, this building is on stilts, which implies that if we just went under the building, we could unlock it. But that also implies that maybe they're snatching people from these rooms via this trapdoor at night. So I mean, we might want to put our beds over the trapdoor so they can't get in without fucking waking us up. Like, we put the foot of a bed over the fucking trapdoor.
Let's see what's in the trapdoor. Let's
have Roy do a Hulk smash check.
Yeah, I'll do a Hulk smash.
If you smash the trapdoor, that might attract their attention, and they would then know we're onto them. We want this to be as sneaky as possible before we get rumbled.
Wait, what room are we doing this in as well?
Room 4.
Well, 4. Well, we can't do that yet because we want to invite the people into room.
No,
4
I can distract them in any room. Don't worry about
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it would make sense to distract them to room 1, because that's where we're staying, right?
That's nice and close. Okay. Here's a question, Munt. I'm just gonna I'm gonna take a stroll out the front there while I'm smoking my cigar, and can I see under this building, under the stilts? So could I just get under there, or is it like walled off somehow?
So basically, it's essentially on stilts because the area around the lake floods in the summer, so that's why it's on stilts.
Yeah.
There's not really enough ground for you to squeeze under. It's probably I would say about 20 centimeters from between the ground and the floor, the sort of floor.
Could I peer under there, perhaps with a torch?
You could look underneath it. Yeah.
Oh, let's have a quick squiz under there and see if we can see anything under there.
So you kind of point your torch underneath, and you, in terms of on the ground, it's just mostly sort of trash and just like rocks and debris. But underneath the floorboards, if you think about it, there's like beams going across that's holding up the building. But then there's like a square, sort of giant, like a beam that goes across the entire length. So from where the room, let's say where the bathrooms of room 8 and 4 is, it goes between all of that towards the other end of the building, and then adjacent to that, there's 2 kind of wooden, almost like boxes that kind of go all the way down the edge. So it's like almost like a crawl space that is heading across underneath both sides of the motel. So one's going down the middle from room 876 down to 5, and the other's going from room 4.
So one could conceivably crawl into this
if
from the main building, if you like, and you'd have access underneath all of the rooms.
There's no way for you to access these
of
from
course,
here, but yeah,
from inside. All right.
Yeah.
So all the trapdoors are connected up by this little tunnel. I shall relay this information to my compadres.
Okay. Yeah. So
if they're abducting people here and feeding them to something in the lake, that's how they're doing it. They're coming up under the trapdoors at night, probably gassing them or knocking them out or something, dragging them under there, and then feeding them to whatever's in that lake. That would be my guess. After all the horrors I've seen at the lighthouse, they're probably feeding them to those feckin' fish people again, the bastards.
Can we have the Hulk smash check?
You want to do that? So if you try and break in, it will most likely alert. At the very least, it will probably alert the people in room 8 and 7, and well, it might alert other people. So you'll have to bear that in mind if you want to try for the whole
I do
smash.
have a crowbar in the car.
Yeah.
Do any of you have specialties with lockpicking?
Well, how are we going to lock?
I was wondering if the
It's
workshop
the wrong
in room
way.
5,
We don't
workshop
have
in room
lock.
5 might be locked instead of barred.
I see.
Oh, I see.
And then we would not need to enter through the tunnels. And it's worth discussing this now, because how the fuck are we getting into those rooms whilst I'm distracted?
I do have the aforementioned crowbar.
If we do it with a crowbar, would we have the same alerting problem?
No, it would reduce the strength check. You might be able to if you pass. You could do it without, provided you don't fumble. You could potentially do it without.
The only
raising.
downside is it would be very obvious that we'd crowbarred open the door. There are those windows. We can have a peek in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be in there. Ideally, what we do is, I wonder if we got access to these tunnels, we could get under there and listen in, perhaps, and see what they're saying in those rooms.
Do we want to check the other rooms as well, see if they have trapdoors?
Yeah, let's check under the rugs in 3, 2, and 1 and see if there's trapdoors there too.
So you go into the other rooms, and they all basically look exactly the same setup, and underneath the rugs there are all trapdoors.
And they're all locked.
I'm gonna. The first thing I'm gonna ask is, like, from looking at this trapdoor, does it feel like it opens downward or upward? Because if they're in that little tunnel, it has to open upward, right? Otherwise, there's no room for the door. I mean,
no, it does. It opens downwards. Yeah.
Shit. So putting a bed over it isn't going to cut it. I was hoping that
you'll make it quite annoying to get out, but
that's true. I'm just
probably
thinking,
wake you up as well as your bed fell into a pit.
Yeah, like if you put the leg of one of the beds over the hole, it'll at least it'll tip a bit. That'll wake you up. You know, that'll wake you up.
All right, shall we? Okay, are we?
Fucking like Wallace and Gromit style, we all just slide down.
I reckon we should warn the two in room 8 and 7 about this as well. Like, quietly, just go around and say, okay, you guys need to move your bed, so it's, we will help and move the bed over this trapdoor, because otherwise they might get yoinked in the night as well. We won't worry about the burly man in room 6. I think he's part of it somehow. Or he might be another FBI man. We never know.
I might even suggest that if they feel uncomfortable in room 7, they just pal up with us.
Yeah. Because I mean, if they go missing, that's on us, really. If we suspect that something fucking crook is happening, we can't just not tell them. We've got to tell them. It's the right thing to do. Well, I'm going to go and tell the young lad. Hold on, who did we chat to before?
I chatted to Jacob Trent.
I'm going to go and
Sarah Bonner.
Go around and chat to Jacob and Sarah and relay to them that we're very suspicious about these trapdoors and everything. Like, our man's gone missing, and we're pretty sure that something is up with these trapdoors and these lads. So, A, be fucking careful. B, we're going to move your bed over the trapdoor so they can't just open it without alerting you. And if you feel anything is suspicious, come round to our rooms immediately. I'm going to do that.
Okay. So you're going to both rooms, right?
Yeah, both rooms. Yeah, I'll just go tell him.
So I think someone should go with him. I'll go with him.
All right, thanks, Roy.
We can't be going solo in this.
Oh, they're next door. I mean, how bad can it be?
I know, but I'm just saying. Last time we went solo, Greg got attacked by fucking 4 fishmen.
And he was fine.
So you knock on room 8, which is where Sarah is. Where Jacob is.
Yeah.
And he kind of opens the door. He's nervous as usual, and he sort of says, what's up? How can I help?
We want to show you something in your room, if we may.
Yeah. So he lets you in. He sort of gestures for you to come inside the room.
I'm gonna peel back the rug and show him the trapdoor.
Okay. So yeah, you pull the rug up and fold it over, and the trapdoor's there, and he kind of looks at it for a second, and then kind of like a wave of anger kind of flows through him, and you can see his demeanor change. Like, I knew it. I knew those bastards up in the workshop were up to something. I reckon this is how they do it, isn't it? This is how they take people. Your lad's gone missing, and Abe hasn't shown up, and now you tell me there's a trapdoor.
Exactly.
In the floor.
That's our suspicion as well. Now, the first thing we're going to do is stick together on this. Don't make any moves without us. Don't make any moves without us, Jacob.
I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm leaving.
That's probably wise. I don't blame you. Listen, can you do us a favor, please?
Yeah. Well, what's that?
Just go to... Where are you headed?
I was headed to Boston.
Boston. Okay. When you get to Boston, can you call... I'll ask him to call Emily Livingston and just tell her that we're at this motel and that we think young Mr. Fraser, whose name I always forget, may have stayed here. May have stayed here, and if he didn't, if he's with her, she has to send us a telegram straight away saying that she's seen him, because we need to know. And then we should also give him. Can you please let his dad know that we might have a lead and that this might be it?
Okay, so you...
Right, we'll write all that down. I'll give him the money for the telegrams, but I need you to send these 2 telegrams. One of them saying that we might have found a clue at this hotel, the Squatters Lake Motel, that that his son was last seen here, and that we might have something here, and also to tell Emily that if she has seen Fraser, that she has to send a telegram to his father saying as much.
Okay, so you hand him all the information, and he kind of, nods his head, gets his things together, and just heads out the room and over to his car.
Wise.
So what are the other lads up to here? You're about to knock on room 7. And then Klaus, Evelyn, and Charlie. What are you up to at this point? Or what do you want to do at this point? You just want to wait for them to...
Well, I want to wait for us to begin our plan to get into the workshop, right? Because I want to go and distract people when they're ready. But there's no point distracting them now because we're not doing anything. Okay. So I'm being chilling until Roy and Father Ted get back.
I'm going outside for a cig.
IRL?
Okay. Chill.
Wow. So you knock on room 7.
Yeah.
This is where Sarah sleeps, and there's no response. Like, you knock on her door quite hard, a fair few times, but she's not opening the door. The lights are out, so potentially she might have honestly just fallen asleep, because earlier you did notice that she was kind of tired. but you don't know what's happened to her. But she's not answering the door, essentially.
I mean, they might have drugged her or something. We don't know.
At this point, Jacob comes back round, and he says, "I don't suppose either of you are good with the car, because mine's given up."
Get in there, Roy.
Yeah, get Roy to have a look at it.
Give me a mechanical check.
Oh, Roy, this is your time, baby.
No, Roy.
No, Roy.
Don't worry, it's not the end of the world.
It's the end of the world. You've killed Jacob, you bastard.
So, you are taking a look under the bonnet to try and figure out what's wrong, and you can see that the parts of the engine and like some of the chains inside have been essentially sabotaged, so that the car is basically busted at this point. Right. Unless you had the spare parts to fix it, you wouldn't be able to.
I suspect the spare parts
are
in the workshop there. Well, I think I've put together something in my head here, lads. People come and stay here. They sabotage their cars. They abduct them from their rooms at night via these trapdoors. I reckon they drug them and knock them out somehow. Maybe there's something in the water. Don't drink any of the fucking water in this place. Could be something to do with that. They drag them through these trapdoors, and then they fucking dump them in the lake to feed whatever they've got in there. Some foul Cthulhian thing from beyond space. This lad in room 6. What are the chances he's part of it, or what if he's like
in room 5?
The fact that he's going around the fact that he's going around the lake is making me a bit sus.
Right, but equally,
no one else likes the lake.
He could be following the other.
He could be following him. There was an FBI lad at the lighthouse as well. Could be the same deal. This guy could be FBI, or he could be part of it. If he's part of it, why is he staying in room 6 and just chilling in the fucking motel? They got a spare room inside. Robert stays in room 5. I say we go in guns blazing and kill everyone.
It's not very far the light.
Sorry, I mean.
Well, we just need to get into the workshop, don't we? Because once we're in the workshop, we can then also.
Well, the question is really, how much time has passed now?
It's about 8:30 now.
8:30. So still time to do our nightly activities if we want to.
But I'm worried about her in room 7. If she's asleep or drugged.
Look through the keyhole.
Is there any way we can look in there and see her?
No, it's completely. You've got no hope. It's basically just dark.
All right, I'm gonna pound on the door really loud.
Nah, just fuck her.
I'm just gonna go bang, 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 and just see if there's any response. I don't care how sleepy she is. That would wake you up.
Okay, so after sort of like half a minute, she opens the door, and you can tell she's pissed. She's mad that you've woken her up. What is it you want?
It's not safe. It's not safe here. I suggest you stay with us. You can share a room with Evelyn, but you can't stay on your own tonight. We think something really bad's going to happen. We have reason to believe that the person we're looking for went missing from this hotel, and another man went missing from this hotel. You could be next.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
How do you know?
May I show you something in your room that I suspect you didn't know was there?
Ooh, well...
It'll take 30 seconds.
Don't usually allow strange men in my room, but she opens the door.
I'm pulling back the rug and to show her the trapdoor under there.
And she kind of like covers her mouth like, oh my, what is that?
These trapdoors are connected. All the rooms are connected via this trapdoor, and we think it's connected to the main house. Now, 2 people have already gone missing. You said your car wasn't working. The lad than Jacob in your room next to yours, his car's not working. We suspect if we went and looked out, our car wouldn't be working. We think they're up to no good. You should stay with us tonight.
And she kind of goes pale, like a ghost, and sort of you can see that she's kind of forming links in her mind about sort of weird stuff that's happened around the motel. And she kind of like clutches her hands to her chest. She's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then I don't think she's met Evelyn at this point, right? So she walks out and kind of says hello to the rest of you, and yeah, she's on board.
The gang.
All right, we'll get him round to our side of the hotel, so at least we're all together. I don't know if we should talk to the guy in room 6 about this. How convinced are we that he's part of it? And how...
I think Bill is sus. He does not get to know about this.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm just saying.
He can look after himself.
I think Jacob said Bill has been here for a few days.
Yeah,
so
but
I don't know.
Bill's been here a while too. I'm just saying, if we leave him to it, we're prejudging him, and only God can judge. I think we should warn him. It's
Bill
only fair.
Do we have Jacob with us?
They didn't say anything about Bill having a car, so you might.
Bill does have a car. It's
okay. Never mind.
Yeah, everyone at the motel.
It's a motel. It's like.
Can I go look under Bill's car?
You want to look at Bill's car while he's
look under it for any sabotage.
Under it.
See if it works. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. I mean, you could have a look. Roll me another mechanic check.
Oh, Roy, this is your time for God again. Roy, what are you doing?
So, like the others, it has been sabotaged in the same way.
All right, that's it. I'm telling him. That's it. I'm knocking on his door.
Maybe he'd be more receptive to Jacob since they kind of know each other.
I'll have Jacob with me.
You knock on his door, and there's no response.
Bill, it's Father John Carver. It's your car. It's about your car. Father John Carver here with important information about your car.
The lights are still on, but there's no one answering. And one of the curtains is slightly ajar.
I'm peering in.
Peek in. There's no one inside.
I wonder if he's gone for his nightly walk around the lake. Can I see if there's anyone walking around the lake, like any torches or anything like that?
You can't see anything around the lake. You would have to go around.
Fuck that.
There's a window to the workshop on the landing.
Yeah,
right?
while we're right here, let's have a peek through into the workshop.
It's boarded up from the other side with floorboards basically. So it's just glass looking into a bunch of wood.
The fact that Bill is also connected to the workshop, it's not looking good for Bill.
Bill's not connected. Bill's in room 6, remember?
Oh, he's
room 5.
Oh yeah, 5.
Robert,
okay,
Robert,
but he's connected to Robert.
Yeah, but so is everybody else.
Everyone else is also connected to each other.
That's just the adjoining room in case you have a family turn up. They always do that.
I know, but it's in he's directly connected.
Yeah, but that's just bad luck for him. I mean,
well, I'm just saying it's stacking up against Bill here.
I would say it's stacking up to say why would they sabotage his car if he's on?
I don't know. That's a good point, actually. That's a really good point.
Fuck you, Bill. I'm gonna have your car as well. I helped you feed these lads to those demons. It doesn't matter, Bill. That's what we do, isn't it? We collect license plate. You gotta fuck your car over, mate. Sorry. Shit. Is it time to go loud on this one, or are we still gonna be sneaky? I guess we're still gonna be sneaky.
So yeah, remember that you can there's still a bunch of rooms that you could search, and there's still so you've only actually looked through room 4 and the other rooms that you're staying in. So you haven't
let's have a nosy through our own rooms then.
You haven't looked through anything. Okay, so Charlie Lamau, can I get a spot hidden from you?
Oh my God, Charles, do it.
Gregory.
Sorry,
Isaac.
What role am I doing?
Spot hidden.
I was Snapchatting my bird, mate.
Yes.
So, as you sort of look around your room, to sort of see if there's any signs of foul play, do see underneath, basically where the hinge of the door is, against the sort of very edge of the room. So basically, underneath the door, right against the edge where the hinge is, there's a broken fingernail.
Jesus.
Not like the end of a fingernail, but the entire fingernail, essentially.
Is it a human fingernail?
It seems to be human. Yeah, it's like just one of
Just
your
checking.
middle fingers, and there are like scratch, like where fingers have been pressed deeply into the floor, coming out from the doorway into the landing, essentially, like someone's been dragged
Oh my god.
against their will out of the door.
Bell's fucked.
As for the other rooms, other than the trapdoors that you've already seen, there doesn't seem to be anything else worthwhile.
Right.
Forget about Bill. Forget about
Do we
Bill.
know
We've
where
just gotta-
William and Robert are? Like, they're not even here. We could try and bless them.
So, I mean, you could have a look in reception, for example, and see.
Maybe if the doctor can just pop in there and
Just ring the bell.
Just go and see if they're
Yeah.
still there, and then say, just a moment, and then come back and tell us if they're there. And if they're there, then we can get on with Operation Infiltrate Workshop and infiltrate Room 5.
So
I think they go hand in hand, don't they? Because there's a door between them.
Yeah, that's true. I do think it might be in our best interest to. I know it sounds silly, but we might want 2 people to stay in reception, trying to distract them, because if we leave the Herr Doctor on his own and they jump him, he's fucked.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to be needed in for breaking in
Yeah,
purposes.
I'll stay with him because at least I can brawl a bit.
Yeah.
And
You'd be fighting a man in a wheelchair.
yeah, so it'll be 2-on-1 versus a guy in a wheelchair. Although I think that wheelchair is a load of bollocks, if I'm honest with you. We'll see.
okay.
Jesus Christ.
So Roy,
I don't believe that wheelchair for one fucking moment.
Put him up.
How's he going for a walk around the lake in a fucking wheelchair? Come on now.
So, Klaus and Father John, you're going to reception. Roy, Charlie, and Evelyn, are you going to the workshop? Or are you going to...
Yeah, workshop.
Did someone stay with Sarah?
Well, Jacob's with her.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Aren't they just come with? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
get them to come with.
They're probably
Leave
not.
them there.
They
Leave
might
them
be.
there.
He might be a sneezer. You never know.
Well, do you want to stay with them, Evelyn, then?
If there's 2 of them, they should be fine. I think.
Yeah, leave them.
Mate,
Tell them to stay in. They're in room 1. They're
Yeah.
close
I
by.
haven't got much
room 1.
hope for them.
Keep the doors locked.
You 2 stay there with us. We'll give a special knock when we come back. Knock, 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 knock. That's the special knock, like in Leon.
Okay, so Klaus and Father John, you kind of... Do you want to go in to alert them, like with the bell, or do you want to try and sneak in without the door hitting the bell?
I can alert them.
We want to get their attention.
discourse. Yeah.
So both of you walk in, and the bell goes off, and sure enough, after about 30 seconds, William comes out, and he kind of looks a bit like, "Oh, well, what do you want?" sort of attitude. And he's like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
All right. So I was wondering if I could discuss some things about your brother. You see, I'm a doctor, and I was wondering. I've had taken an interest in glottis development issues. Do you think he'd be available to talk?
No, Robert's gone to bed, I'm afraid. He sleeps most of the day, so yeah, he's just fast asleep now. If you need anything, just talk to me. But if you want to talk to him about stuff, it'll have to wait until morning. Obviously, bear in mind he doesn't really talk, so it might be hard getting a response.
I'm sure you
out of
could be
him.
on hand for interpretation issues. But I was wondering, how long has he had his illness? At the same time, I think Father John should go out and signal that the operation is on, but that Robert is still in room 5, so you should let them know that room 5 might be off limits.
I'll just go outside and smoke my cigar. 3 puffs.
I'm intrigued about what's his name, about Robert. How does he get?
You're not
into,
there.
Wait,
You're not there.
You're not there.
No. I
do you
just
mean-
in general, because there's no ramp up to room 5, up to the landing.
there's a ramp
near
up to the
room
workshop.
5.
there?
Okay, yeah.
And a
Yes,
ramp to
there is,
reception.
I guess.
Don't you worry.
Sorry. Continue.
All right.
Kind of looks at you like, what why do you want to know all this? He's kind of a bit miffed that you're bothering to ask all these questions, but he seems friendly enough. He says, well, he had had an accident a few years back, and it kind of basically it put him in a wheelchair, and it addled his mind, and it just hasn't really been the same since. But he seems to be okay with it. He seems to be doing fine otherwise, other than being in a wheelchair. His mental capacity is still there, can read and things like that. And like I said, he's interested in cars. But yeah, it can get a bit lonely sometimes because missed having good conversations with him. But what can you do, eh? That's life. Kind of chuckles.
Oh, of course. And I mean, you're doing a wonderful job taking care of him. I heard you take him for walks regularly. Give him his exercise, a bit of fresh air. It's wonderful for the mind.
Oh yeah, who told you that out of interest? Wow.
Oh, we were having a chat with the gentleman in room 5. He was telling us
room
about
6.
how he saw you out and about.
Room 6.
Oh, room 6. Apologies.
roll me a persuade.
Persuade. Fuck yes. Let's fail some rolls.
So,
well, can the doctor not also roll a persuade?
That would be me rolling persuade. I haven't had a shot yet.
He's not talking to them.
I'm standing next to him.
Sorry, my apologies.
Klaus is the one doing the talking. So you fumble and you say room 5, and almost immediately he's like on edge. He sort of gets a feeling that you've been snooping around almost.
What my learned friend meant to say was room 6, of course. We've just been asking some of the other guests if there's anything to do with an evening, because, we're a little bit bored out here, no offence, but we didn't bring any books with us, so we were just hoping to go for a little walk, and they said you'd seen you walking out there. Shall I roll a persuade?
Yeah, go on then, roll a persuade.
Yes! Oh yeah.
So, he kind of backs off a bit, and eventually he kind of sighs and relents, and he says, yeah, so I guess you heard all about the lake then. This place was a mistake. We should never have set up a motel here.
Why is that?
I'm sure you probably asked the other guests, didn't you? So I'm sure they told you there's something wrong with the lake. There's lights over it all the time. There's weird sounds coming from around the motel underneath it. I thought it was rats or raccoons or something, but I had one of these pest control guys come in and he saw nothing. It was nothing. No drop-ins, no nothing. There was like no life. And then, of course, there was the little settlement that was supposed to be on the other side of this place. They call it like that's why they call it Squatters Lake. Bunch of sort of hobos and homeless people used to camp out there, and we go there every now and again to check out where this weird noise is coming from, and there's nothing. It's like deserted. It's all ruins, and I'll be honest, you're not the first people that came around these parts investigating this bloody lake. But I can tell you now
I'd just like to tell you right now, we're not here to investigate the lake. We're here looking for a missing fella. So anything that's happened to the lake is supplementary.
You say that. People come here, and most of them, they just, they stay and they leave. Some of them, they're interested in the lake. They go, they wander out towards it. They go fishing or whatever, and then, they up and leave without a word. I don't know what happens to them, but
how do they leave?
Well, I mean, they usually I assume they use their car. Their car's gone in the morning.
I find it interesting that you say that because several of the cars here are not working anymore. The young lady in room 7,
yeah,
the young fella in room 8. The
young lady's car.
The man in room 6. All of those cars have stopped working. We haven't checked our own yet. I'm just wondering, what could be causing the problems with the cars now?
Well, I couldn't tell you. I mean, this is news. I mean, we have cars breaking down all the time here. You know, we're always out fixing. But you know, because of my age and Robert's inability to really help out, you know, we're not experts. So yeah, I mean, sometimes people's cars do break down here. I mean, we get it a lot. So unless you know, unless there's anything else, I can't really help you.
Do I think he's lying or not? Is there any way I can tell?
You could do a psychology check.
I think that's something I'm actually not bad at. 30. All right. Well, yeah. Go on then.
Can I roll one as well for?
You could, yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, Ted's passed it. I won't bother.
Okay, so you can kind of tell by his mannerisms that some of what he's saying is true, but not all of it. So he's hiding some parts, but there are aspects to what he's saying that has some truth to it. But you don't exactly know what. He just kind of sort of like flipping through the conversation weirdly, where it seems like some things he's saying is kind of like off by heart, like he knows, and some of it he's kind of making up on the spot, but it's intertwined, so you don't really know exactly what it is that he's lying about. But yeah,
he's holding back something.
He's holding back something.
Can we keep engaging with small talk to buy time?
Yep. So we'll move over to the gang on the workshop front. So it's Charlie, Evelyn, and Roy.
Roy.
Big Roy.
So you're at the workshop. As you go up, you're going to be going up from the stairs, right? From the other side, next to the lake.
Yeah.
You go up towards the door. There's a couple of barrels against the wall without the window with oil in them and a watering can, which you assume is what William uses to refill all the lights and things like that around the motel. Fortunately, the doors are fitted with a really thick padlock and a chain. So it's basically essentially off limit, and it's really tight as well. So you can't really sort of jiggle about or anything. There's a window to the right, but again, it's shuttered from the inside. And other than that, you can't really tell anything else about the workshop. So it basically just boils down to these two shuttered windows and a locked door.
It's locked from the inside, I presume.
Well, it's got a padlock and chain on it, so you basically can't open it. You could roll locksmith, but I don't know if anyone. I don't think anyone's got locksmith, right? There's a skill.
I don't believe so.
No, I don't.
Well, we're gonna have to bash a window in, aren't we?
That's gotta be the least subtle way of getting in.
Yeah.
Or we could force open the trapdoor back in our room.
Yeah.
We don't even know if that links.
Or you know, obviously it's a
room
padlock.
5,
it is a padlock, so it does have a key. Remember.
Oh, true.
I mean, to be fair, you know what? The funny thing is, these lads might actually be completely innocent.
No, they won't be. Not at all.
I'm just going to get Klaus's attention when we have a chance. Yeah. I just want to ask something, but yeah, go for it. You let's continue with the padlock thing.
I think our best odds is probably the trapdoor, to be honest.
I agree. We're not going to be able to get the key because they're talking to the owners in reception. It's obviously going to be somewhere around there. So
I'm going to get the crowbar and try and get the trapdoor.
Okay. Right. So you leave the workshop. Charlie and Evelyn, you're going to stay around the workshop. You're going to go with.
No. We'll go with because someone has to go down the bloody trapdoor. Roy can't get in there.
Okay. So you grab the crowbar and you make your way to room you're going to do it in room 4, right? Or which room are you going to do this
Yeah,
in?
room 4, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? But
Room
room 4
1
is
is
it
where-
does.
closer.
Room 1 is closer to them, so they might be able to hear it. Room
Okay.
4
Room
is
4.
probably...
Room 4.
So can you give me
In fact,
a...
room 8 would probably be even better.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll just do room 8 then.
Okay.
It's fine.
That way he loses his deposit.
So can I get a hard strength check from you, Roy?
Yeah. I can't, Roy. You failed to. It's time to make some.
He could just
Make some
fucking
money.
jump up and down on it.
Fuck's sake,
It's
Roy!
fine. It's fine. Roy has loosened it up for me to have a go.
Oh, give me a hard strength check.
Evelyn's gonna fucking crack
Oh wait,
this.
sorry, a hard one. My bad.
Yeah,
my
a hard
bad,
one.
my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have almost passed it as well.
Chilling.
Jesus.
But the second one is a hard one, so I managed to jimmy it open.
No, you don't.
It's yours a hard one.
That says
The second
regular.
one was a hard
regular.
one.
No, you've done it on regular difficulty.
Oh, I just did -1 dice. That's my
No,
bad.
yeah.
My bad.
Alright.
You
Okay,
just rolled a 47, a 48, and a 47. The
Beast,
fuck?
mate, what can I say?
Well, you failed, so...
Oh, did I? Really?
Yeah, because it's got the spider on it. That's a
I see,
that's a
but it
fail.
says regular success when I hover over the voice. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, not a
guess.
hard
sure.
success, eh?
Sure.
Get Evelyn. Get it.
I mean, yeah, Evelyn, go for
Evelyn
it.
could try it. Why
Do
not?
I even?
Right, here comes Evelyn. What's your strength?
55.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
Pretty
it's
strong,
possible.
Evelyn.
I think, like, odds on at this point we can pass it. Yeah, there we go.
Holy shit.
What? Okay.
I'm
So,
sure you boys just
basically-
loosened it for me, tee-hee.
Yeah, basically the trapdoor has been kind of loosened by Charlie and Roy, but because
No, she just got it. All right, don't put this on them.
and the trapdoor kind of creaks open, and you manage to essentially kind of shove it down enough so that the lock on one of the side, like from the underneath, basically kind of snaps off underneath, and it's now kind of tilting down, and then all it takes is kind of a few pushes from Roy to dislodge the other side, and the trapdoor falls down into the climb. What did I call that? Climbing
Crawl space.
crawl space. That's the one.
Do you both lads want to go down there? I think that's probably safe.
I believe I have
guard
more
from the
HP.
top.
So I'll go first. If that's all right with you, Evelyn.
Perfectly fine.
Yep. So I'll crawl down into the crawl space, and Roy
Have
will
more HP.
Roy will circle back round to the front of the workshop.
Just a natural role player, this lad.
Sorry.
Well, Evelyn, I think my stats are a bit higher than yours, so why don't I go first? I've got 10 HP instead of your 9, so I'm more ready to take the hit when it comes from the right.
So you'll need like some sort of light. Right, so what you say electric.
I have a torch, mate. I've got a fucking torch on me. I'll crack that bad boy out.
Okay, so you.
It's gonna be like the bit in Aliens where he pops the ceiling tile and it's just teeming with fucking xenomorphs.
So you walk along the. So you crawl along the crawl space. It's really narrow. You basically you're on your hands and knees, but even then it's still pretty tight. And as you go down, you can see the sort of holes that lead to the other trapdoors for the other rooms. And you get to the end of room 1. You're doing it from room 8, actually, aren't you? You go from room 8, and you go all the way to the end. But there's only 3 trapdoors going from this side. So you can see that you've gone in from room 8, then there's the one from room 7, one from room 6, there's space under room 5, but there's no actual trapdoor going into room 5. And underneath, right at the very end, there's actually another trapdoor going down where room 5 would be, or the trapdoor where room 5 would be. Underneath that, there's a trapdoor going down.
Right, well, we're gonna go down there.
You want to try and open that?
Yes, please.
Roll me an extreme strength check.
Holy moly!
Come on, Evelyn.
You're fucking ready for this?
A single file, right?
Yeah, who's first actually?
Oh God,
Gregory!
Oh,
Oh, Greg's dead! Greg is
what
dead!
have we done? What
He's
have
got
we
his
done?
mighty schnoz caught in the trapdoor.
So,
Holy fuck.
right.
Help me, Evelyn! Help me! Get the crown
I just fucking die.
So
I've never
as you
seen
try
four
to
skulls!
as you try to pry the trapdoor open, you've got the crowbar, right? As you try and pry the trapdoor open, you use way too much force, and it basically like the whole thing just kind of splinters because it's quite thin wood. The whole thing just fucking splinters everywhere, and you kind of, because of how you were leaning to try and get the force to open this trapdoor, you essentially fall head first down the trapdoor, and your head hits this kind of squishy thing, and the torch bounces down the side and illuminates this sort of like almost coffin shaped sort of crate, and it's James Fraser. You can tell by the way that he
By the way, he's 6'2".
We found him.
Well,
Mission
it is,
complete. We go home.
And so he's lying there. He bolts upright immediately, and it basically embraces you. And we need to start combat now.
Can we get a listen check from William?
Anyway, sorry. So he embraces.
I'd call down, Dad.
He
okay.
embraces you to try to basically like devour you, essentially.
Oh, I see. I thought he
Oh
was just giving me
shit!
a
I
hug.
thought it was.
I
Oh
thought
my
he was giving me a
God!
hug. I found him. He's giving me a hug.
Who
No,
have you
embraces you to
found?
try-
Someone's trying to eat you?
I found James Fraser.
Embraces
underneath
is
the
not
gap.
the right word here. What's
Well,
going
no.
on?
No, yeah. So he basically has
He
grabbed
grabs
you
me. Yeah.
and is now about to like go for your neck, essentially with
Okay,
his.
perfect.
Right.
Amazing. Initiate
with
combat
nose?
then. Perfect. Yeah. Cock with
You
that.
could do so hell on.
Pulls out rapier.
Right. Okay. So. Give me a sec.
Do you mind giving my
Does
character his
Evelyn
dagger for the
know
melee
what's
weapons?
going on? I mean, Evelyn presumably has seen.
Evelyn saw him
I've
fall at least.
seen him fall, yeah.
Charlie, where have you gone?
Evelyn just leaves. She's had enough.
Evelyn just she drops a grenade down in the hole and just leaves.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a combat account here.
Yeah. Do you mind just slipping my character?
Wait. Just let me say, after we've done this bit, it is 11.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
this might be a good cliffhanger to leave it on for the
Yeah.
next session. So Charlie has accidentally fallen through a trapdoor into the embrace of James Fraser, who has now become some hideous creature, is what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good point to leave it, because that's bone chilling next time on Call of Cthulhu.
Alright. Yeah. No, I don't mind. Yeah.
Is that alright?
Okay. Sure.
All right. Munt, well done as usual. This is good. I guess we'll sort out the next time we can do it off stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to end the stream. We can sort that out. Right. Cheers, guys. That was great, and we'll be back soon with more Call of Cthulhu, and hopefully Greg's nose and the rest of his body will be intact once he's been cuddled by this hideous creature. Cheers for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.